Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends and colleagues from all over the world, welcome to China, Central and Eastern European countries Traditional Medicine Forum, one of the online sections of WIFA's International Symposium on Acupuncture Motivation. I'm Dr. Guan Xing, the Director of Traditional Chinese Medicine Center. As we know, this forum is to exchange experience and discuss how a better role can be played by traditional medicine in realizing universal health coverage. This forum is guided by National Administration of Traditional Chinese Medicine of People's Republic China, sponsored by World Federation of Acupuncture Motivation Societies, co-organized and supported by Czech Traditional Chinese Medicine Center, Polish Society, and Traditional Chinese Medicine, International Association for the Promotion and Development of Quantum Medicine, European Federation of Acupuncture Motivation Societies, Hellenic Society of Chinese Medicine. This forum, we will have 3 opening, address, and thanks at academical speeches. So now, let's welcome the first speakers for his opening address. Professor Liu Bauyan, the President of World Federation of Acupuncture Motivation Societies. Welcome, Professor Liu Bauyan.
Distinguished guest, expert, dear friend, good morning and good afternoon. I'm very happy to welcome you to this Central European countries Traditional Medicine Forum, a forum under WIFA's 2021 International Symposium. As the president of the WIFA's, I would like to give my warm thanks to all speakers and participants. Congratulations to the opening of this forum. WIFA's is an international union of the Acupuncture Association in official relationship with WHO, with a special consultative status with the UN, and level A liaison organization with the ISO TC 249. The WIFA's has more than 250 members societies from the 70 or so countries and regions, including many from the Europeans. The European is an important area for the development of acupuncture and Chinese medicine in the world. We are glad to see that more Central and Essential European countries have recognized the effect of acupuncture and even include acupuncture and Chinese medicine in national health system. The traditional medicine, such as Chinese medicine, can play a greater role to help our fight against the pandemic and many chronic diseases, to benefit people's health in the whole life span. In order to achieve this, we need to cooperate closer for more exchange, more education, and more researchers to provide high-quality evidence. The WIFA has a building international platform of the acupuncture conference, researchers, and education basis. We sincerely welcome more associations, experts, and scholars from European countries to join us in our work, exploring more potential from acupuncture and Chinese medicines. Thank you very much. I wish this forum a great success.
Thank you, Professor Liu. Now let's welcome the second speakers from Czech Republic, Mr. Han Changqiong, the Counselor of Science and Technology, Chinese Embassy in the Czech Republic. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's my great honor to attend the forum. Thank the World Federation of Acupuncture and the Moxibustion Society for the invitation. I'm very willing to share with you the China-Czech friendship and the development of traditional Chinese medicine in the Czech Republic. 50 or 60 years ago, a group of Czech doctors who devoted themselves to the exchange of traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine introduced acupuncture and other TCM cultures to the Czech Republic. With the help of a large number of experts who are enthusiastic about TCM culture, TCM has a good public foundation in the Czech Republic now. Many patients are willing to try the treatment with a combination of Chinese and Western medicine and become fans of TCM after they have achieved curative effects. According to the reports, there are 4 large treatment institutions featuring TCM in the Czech Republic, and more than 500 doctors can practice acupuncture and other Chinese medicine treatments. Every year, tens of thousands of people receive Chinese medicine treatment. I'm very happy to see Dr. Benoa, the founder of the Czech First School of Traditional Chinese Medicine, participate in today's forum and will share her long-term experience in promoting TCM in the Czech Republic. The Czech First TCM School was established in 1990. It is the first TCM school in the Czech Republic and has trained a large number of TCM professionals. In 2016, Qigong Hospital cooperated with Czech partners, established the China-Czech Traditional Chinese Medicine Center, which adopted integrated Chinese and Western medicine to cure or relieve pain of many Czech patients. China-Czech TCM Center has also carried out many public lectures and media activities, which have made important contributions to the promotion of TCM culture in the Czech Republic. At present, Chinese medicine institutions and enterprises from Sichuan, Shanxi, Qinghai, Hebei, and other provinces are cooperating with Czech partners in TCM. The cooperation team is growing. This year marks the 72nd anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the Czech Republic. Over the past 72 years, the friendship between the two people have deepened. Mutually beneficial cooperation has achieved fruitful results, and the people-to-people and the cultural exchange have flourished. But now, COVID-19 is raging around the world, further highlights the importance and urgency of building a global community of health for all. The Chinese Embassy in the Czech Republic will, as always, support Chinese and Czech institutions and experts to carry out cooperation in TCM and actively share the valuable experience of both sides in the fight against the pandemic with the integration of Chinese and Western medicine. On the road of striving for human health, we will continue to deepen the friendship between the Chinese and the Czech people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Han. The last speaker will be Mr. Zhu Haidong, the Deputy Director of the Department of International Cooperation, National Administration of Traditional Chinese Medicine of People's Republic China. Welcome.
Dear Professor Liu Bauyan, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be invited to participate in the WUFOS 2021 International Symposium on Acupuncture and Markspasion, Central and Eastern European Countries Traditional Medicine Forum. On behalf of National Administration of Traditional Chinese Medicine of China, I would like to extend my warm congratulations on the forum. TCM, as an important health resource in China, has played a unique role in disease prevention and treatment. It has not only made outstanding contributions to the Chinese nation, but also the progress of world civilization. Cooperation between China and the CE countries in the field of traditional medicine is increasing. CE countries such as Hungary have carried out attempts in TCM legislation and practice, laying a good foundation for substantial cooperation. A number of TCM centers have been jointly established by hospitals, universities, and other institutions from both sides. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, the CPC Central Committee attaches high importance to COVID-19 prevention and control, and President Xi Jinping assumed full command over the control efforts from the very beginning. China has been exerting the unique advantages and functions of TCM. A COVID-19 diagnosis and treatment protocol has been developed. 3 TCM patent medicines and 3 TCM formulas have been selected. More than 90% of confirmed cases were treated with TCM in the country. At the same time, actively share our experiences TCM in global epidemic prevention and control. During the pandemic, upon request, TCM diagnosis and treatment protocols and related formulas have been shared with more than 150 countries and regions, and TCM experts were sent to 28 countries and regions to fight against the pandemic. WUFOS has promoted understanding and cooperation among the world's acupuncture field, strengthened international academic exchanges, and contributed to human health. At present, COVID-19 is still raging and take a toll on our lives and livelihood. All countries are actively taking action to find effective ways to contain the virus. I hope that TCM experts and scholars from China and CE countries will join our efforts to contribute to the health of the people from both sides. Finally, I wish this forum a complete success and wish you good health. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zhu Haidong and all these 3 speakers for their warming welcome opening address. Thank you again. Now let's move to the academic speeches. Today we'll have 10 speakers from the Central and Eastern European countries, such as Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, Moldova, etc., etc. So now let's welcome the first speaker, Dr. Liu Chunzhi, the Dean of School of Acupuncture, Markspasion and Trainer, Beijing University of Chinese Medicine. His speech is titled Current Status of Clinical Research on Acupuncture in the Past Decade. Welcome, Dr. Liu.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the invitation of the World Federation of Acupuncture Markspasion Society. It's my honor to introduce current status of clinical research on acupuncture in the past decades. For the thousands of years, acupuncture have made great progress with the development of evidence-based medicine. Acupuncture it needs to show evidence of its therapeutic effects to developing traditional medicine. In 2000, an article published in The Lancet proposed that the primary mission of developing traditional medicine is to show evidence of its therapeutic effects. In 2016, Annals of Internal Medicine accept an article conducted by Professor Liu Bauyan and Liu Zhishun. The study included 1,075 patients with chronic refractory constipation. The study found that 8-week electroacupuncture treatment compared with sham electroacupuncture increased complete spontaneous bowel movements and was safe for the treatment of constipation. The effect persisted for 12 weeks after treatment. After proving the efficacy of electroacupuncture, Professor Liu Bauyan and Liu Zhishun further carried out non-inferiority trials of acupuncture and procoprid. This study conducted at 14 centers and enrolled 560 patients. After 8 weeks electroacupuncture treatment, it found that electroacupuncture was similar with the procoprid. This effect also could sustain for 24 weeks. This trial has published at American Journal of Gastroenterology in 2021. The two clinical trials from efficacy trial to effect trial. And the comparator was the sham acupuncture and the procoprid. Our team conducted a clinical trial to investigate the effect of acupuncture on postprandial distress syndrome. This trial conducted at 5 centers and enrolled 280 patients with postprandial distress syndrome. After 12 sessions of acupuncture, we found that compared with sham acupuncture, 4 weeks of acupuncture result in increased patient reported adequate relief and improved postprandial distress syndrome symptoms. The effects of acupuncture persisted through the 12-week follow-up. This trial, published in Annals of Internal Medicine. Professor Wang Wei from Tongji Hospital conducted a clinical investigate the effect of acupuncture on migraine. This trial conducted at 7 centers and enrolled 150 patients. The patients were acupuncture naive patients. After 20 sessions of manual acupuncture, compared with sham acupuncture and Eurocare alone, it found that 20 sessions of manual acupuncture was superior to sham acupuncture and Eurocare for the prophylaxis of episodic migraine without aura. This trial published in BMJ in 2020. In the meanwhile, Professor Liang Fanrong also focused on the acupuncture on migraine. They conducted a clinical trial at 3 centers and enrolled 2,049 patients with migraine without aura. They used 20 sessions of electroacupuncture and compared with sham acupuncture. It found that, compared with sham acupuncture, acupuncture can significantly decrease the frequency of migraine attacks. And they focus on the effect in week 16. It means they focus on the long-term effect of acupuncture. This trial published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2017. Professor Liang's team not only pays attention to the long-term effects of acupuncture, but also have always been concerned about the specificity of acupoints. They conduct a clinical trial in 5 centers and enroll 404 patients to investigate the efficacy and the safety of acupuncture as adjunctive therapy to anti-anginal therapy in reducing frequency of angina attacks. They found that acupuncture on the disease-affected meridian as adjunctive treatment compared with acupuncture on the acupoints on the non-affected meridian has significant effect to decrease the frequency of angina attacks, and the trial published in JAMA Internal Medicine in 2019. Our team also pays attention to the effect of acupuncture in the treatment of painful disease. Taking knee osteoarthritis as the research disease, conduct at 9 centers and enrolled 480 patients. We found that electroacupuncture resulted in less pain and better function at week 8, and this effect persisted through week 26. However, manual acupuncture has no benefit at week 8, although it showed benefits during follow-up. The phenomenon may be associated with the effect of sham acupuncture decreased significance in the follow-up period. So based on our trial, we recommendation the electroacupuncture to treat knee pain, and the manual acupuncture has effect. Pelvic disease is also one of the domination disease of acupuncture. Professor Liu Bauyan and Liu Zhishun conduct a trial to investigate effect of acupuncture on stress urinary incontinence. This trial conducted at 12 centers and enrolled 504 patients. Compared with sham electroacupuncture, they found that electroacupuncture could significantly decrease the urine leakage after 6 weeks treatment. And this is the first trial published in JAMA by local scholar. This year, Professor Liu Zhishun carried out a clinical study, enrolled 440 patients to investigate the effect of acupuncture on chronic pelvic pain syndrome. During 20 sessions of acupuncture treatment, it found that acupuncture results in great improvement in symptoms of moderate to severe chronic pelvic pain syndrome, and the effect could persist to 24 weeks after treatment. And in this time, we need to mention that in 2017, there are another trial published in JAMA. This trial conducted by Professor Wu Xiaoke, and the trial conducted at 21 centers, enrolled 1,000 patients. This trial found that the use of acupuncture with or without clomiphene, compared with control acupuncture and placebo, did not increase live births. And this finding does not support acupuncture as an treatment in women with polycystic ovary syndrome. In the past decades, the above-mentioned clinical research published in high-impact journals focus on the gastroenterology disease, painful disease, and pelvic disease. Those clinical promote the development of acupuncture in the world. In the future, there are 4 new issues that could be sought. About the specification of sham acupuncture, the effect size of sham acupuncture, and the sham acupuncture design need to standard. The specification of sham acupuncture is the important part to taking acupuncture clinical trial. The second, we need to improve the achievement transformation. After we conduct the clinical trial, it needs to give more evidence and use the new clinical design method to give more evidence of acupuncture. And we need establish generative technique platform to strengthen data standardization and promote clinical data. In December 2020, the International Acupuncture and Maxfusion Innovation Institute, initiated by Beijing University of Chinese Medicine, was officially established. It released on the WFAS and CAAM content 10 Chinese medicine university and built 6 platform aims to innovation acupuncture research methodology, focus on the dominated disease of acupuncture and implement high quality clinical research. Thanks for your listening.
Thank you, Dr. Liu. Dr. Liu analyzed the status of clinical research on acupuncture and moxibustion in the past decade. He introduced many clinical researches on different diseases, such as knee osteoarthritis, stress, urinary incontinence, and functional dyspepsia, migraine, chronic prostatitis, etc., etc. And Professor Liu also emphasized on the specification of sham acupuncture, achievement transformation, new clinical design methods, generic technology platform, these 4 areas. And also we are very glad for the setup of the International Acupuncture and Moxibustion Innovation Institute. Thanks again, Dr. Liu. Now let's move to the second speaker, Professor Colalia Adina Kotorazzi, Director of Vasile Goldi's Western University of Arad, Romania. Her speech title is China Romania TCM Center in Vasile Goldi's Western University of Arad. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Coralia Cotorac, and I am the president of the Vasile Goldiș Western University from Arad. I'm very honored to have this speech about China-Romania TCM Center in our university. Because in 2019 we have opened this center together with Zhejiang University, and there were several activities that we have built and done together previous this activity. In visit from delegation from the Chinese government regarding the new TCM center at our university. This was an initiative of our founding president, late Professor Aurel Ardelean, who unfortunately was not he died, and he was not able to see this project working, but he was having this initiative. So there were some we have Chinese specialization in our university, English Chinese, who was started by Professor Vanda Stan in the Faculty of Humanistical Sciences. Having this specialization, we have developed a cooperation together with Confucius Center, and we have we began to work to build this concept and this center together with the Zhejiang University. It was a great and a hard work, and finally we succeed in open it in December 2019. Here you can see pictures with the Chinese delegation, the president of Zhejiang University, and the Chinese delegation, and the bishop, Archbishop of Arad, and the president of the county council and the vice mayor from Arad. And here you can see the whole Chinese delegation and the community of the representative of the community of Chinese people in Arad, the representative of the church, the county hospital here, and also the vice president of Vasile Goldiș Foundation in opening this ceremony. It has been a very nice ceremony. Many people were involved. Together with my colleague, Vice Rector Anca Hermenian, we are keeping in touch the relation with Brimea and Brimedia. And we think it is a very important relation for us, and a very important center for us. We begin with Dr. Li Xiao to have the first patients. The center is very well developed, very well situated, and also many patients were addressing to this center. Unfortunately, Dr. Li had to leave Romania last year, but we really hope that he will come back to continue his work. Also, we have summer schools. This is a visit from our professor to Zhejiang Chinese Medical University, and activities that they have performed in the university. These are our teacher, and they are head of the departments and the vice dean of the Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Piros, and the vice dean of the Faculty of Dentistry, Dr. Marian. So the delegation was very well represented. And then also a delegation of the delegation from our university, who participated in different activities, like you can see in these pictures, from different parts, like calligraphy, like Chinese opera, like paper cutting. So they were having different activities. Learning about Chinese culture, Chinese people, Chinese activities, Chinese food. A special interest was addressed to the martial art, and of course, because this delegation was mainly formed by the biologists from our university, a special attention was given to the introduction of herbs. Also, of great interest were the cupping, the scraping, and the moxibustion. I also want to reiterate that our late president, Professor Ardelean, the founder of our university, was a great fan of moxibustion because he had the opportunity to having this procedure. Tuina and analgesic tuina represented also, especially in the representation of Dr. Li, a very interesting art technique. There were several visits, very interesting visits to hospital, and also where we were learning about activities performed in the hospitals, and also very interesting recreational activities of great interest for all the delegation. When visiting our university, it was very important for us to have this visit of the Chinese delegation, and we were very honored. This is our late president, my father, the founding rector, Professor Ardelean, and the visit was having same aspects as our delegation have in China, by presenting Romania, the history, geography, tradition, monuments, natural reservation, natural costume, Romanian language, Romanian. We were having a very interesting activity by Romanian teachers like Professor Circa Kirila, and these are the Romanian typical costume, and the Chinese delegation love very much these aspects. Different also visit here to the county emergency hospital from Arad, different departments of the hospital, and also to our botanical garden, which is a nature monument from Acha, which is a monument of nature protected here in Arad, and where we have a special collection of very important plants from this area. Traditional Chinese medicine courses are taking place since then for our medical students, and they are of great interest for all of the students. As you know, many of our students they are very interested in the special technique Chinese medicine, acupuncture, moxibustion, tuina. They are very, very interested. They could see the beneficial and the positive effects of those therapies on them, on the patient, and the center working, having patient was our great pride and joy. It was a very good mutual relationship and a very good cooperation and a very fruitful cooperation. We are trying very hard to maintain this cooperation, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for giving us this opportunity. Thank you for inviting us in this conference. It was an honor and a pleasure to be here. I want to give you all our best regards from Vasile Goldish, Western University from Arad. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kotoradze. Thank you for introducing the establishment process of China-Romania TCM Center and the current situation of various tasks. We are very happy to see the teachers and students from Vasile Goldish Western University enjoy the various therapies of Chinese medicine, such as acupuncture and moxibustion. And also we hope and wish that Chinese medicine, especially acupuncture moxibustion, is becoming more and more popular among the people in Romania. Thanks again. Now we are moving to the third speaker, Dr. Marek Garmus from Hungary. Dr. Marek Garmus is the honorary president of Polish Society of Traditional Chinese Medicine. His speech is titled by Why Chinese Medicine Should Not Imitate to Western Medicine. So welcome, Dr. Marek.
Good morning. I would like to present some remarks why Chinese medicine should not imitate Western medicine. I would like to talk about it on the example of diagnostics and scientific research in evidence-based medicine. Since 80s of 20th century, TCM has been conducting research based on the evidence-based medicine paradigm. Unfortunately, almost all of the EBM research in TCM regarding acupuncture, moxibustion, tuina, herbal treatment refer to the treatment of diseases diagnosed in accordance with the principles of Western medicine. Western medicine does not treat the whole patient with his individual problems, as it is in the case of TCM, or at least it should be, but based on the so-called disease units or names of diseases referring to symptoms, but these are not the same names very often as disease units as described in ICD-10 or very soon ICD-11. Moreover, patient's treatment is conducted according to rigidly defined procedures which are supervised by medical chambers, ministries of health, national health systems, insurance companies, other institutions, as well as lobbying pharmaceutical companies. EBM research in TCM is based on the diagnosis of Western medicine, and it leads to absurd approach and obtaining false results. Because in TCM there is no concept of symptomatic disease units like the names of diseases such in Western medicine. Diagnosis and treatment in TCM are based on the differentiation of syndromes, Bian-Zheng, according to the principles of Zhang Fu pathology and Chinese diagnostics, completely different than in Western medicine diagnosis, of course. For example, a symptom called constipation in Western medicine and in ICD-10 included in the very broad category of various gastrointestinal symptoms in TCM has several different patterns of pathology and each should be treated differently, then the treatment results are excellent. If only one principle of treatment will be adopted in the case of symptom called constipation in the IBM research in TCM, where in Western medicine laxatives are used almost for all cases, then patients can be treated with acupuncture and/or Chinese herb together, even in the way which endangers their health, because large intestine cold or large intestine heat pattern are completely contradicted. In fact, the same applies to all other symptoms and disease units, while in each of these cases TCM has at least several patterns to various Zhang Fu pathologies and various stages of disease, which is almost non-existent in Western medicine and therefore not practiced in clinical treatment. When the designed IBM research project is based only on the symptomatic name of the disease, which is in TCM has even a dozen or so patterns, inadequate results are obtained, usually significantly lowering the effectiveness of TCM. Same in case of acupuncture, moxibution, Chinese herbs, and so on. For example, for a headache, in Western medicine, the common procedure is usually to prescribe a pain reliever simply for the headache as such. Meanwhile, in TCM, we have up to 20 patterns related to different types of pathologies determined on the basis of the differentiation of syndromes. For example, Maciocia is mentioning 17 patterns for headache. This results in separate treatment of the pattern based on different acupuncture combinations and other herbal recipes, can be ready-made recipes or prescribed individually. On the basis of this approach, different IBM in study design should be implemented for TCM. Then the effectiveness and safety for TCM will be properly demonstrated. Then obtained results can be compared with IBM research in Western medicine. This is how a professional approach to scientific research should look like. It is impossible to translate the holistic and energetic Taoist paradigm of Chinese medicine into a reductionist and materialistic paradigm of Western medicine in a sufficiently comparable way. It should always be emphasized that Chinese medicine is also academic medicine. However, they differ in philosophy, terminology, diagnostics, and treatment methods, of course. Therefore, each of these medical systems must conduct IBM research in its own way. However, it is important that presenting the results in the scientific publications should attempt to explain the differences and introduce TCM approaches in the discussion section in a way that is understandable to Western medicine doctors. Thanks to this, cooperation in the framework of integrative medicine will be much easier. It is worth showing the differences in approaches of the specificity of treatment on popular examples. For example, the study of Chinese herbal recipes for the treatment of diabetes type 2, according to the terminology of Western medicine, of course, there are three main different Zhang Fu pathology patterns in TCM, which must be treated in different ways, with acupuncture and herbal formulas or both together. Kidney deficiency, where Liu Di Huang 1 formula is for nourishing the liver and kidneys. Deficiency of spleen qi, where modified Wei Bai Zhu San qi formula nourished and strengthens the spleen qi and yin. And the deficiency of kidney jing, yin and yang at the same time, where main formula is Jin Kui Shen Qi Wan. Therefore, it is methodologically incorrect to categorize the treatment approach in terms of effectiveness in each of the above patterns and related acupuncture procedures or recipes under the name of type 2 diabetes, because such a concept does not exist in Chinese medicine. So, for example, Yuri Di Huang 1 cannot be used as a general treatment formula for diabetes type 2. Similar examples can be provided for practically every name of disease of Western medicine. Another problem is research of single points or single herbs. There is a huge number of research in publications about, for example, selected single acupuncture points like Tsusanli, Neiguan, Hegu, and so on. Meanwhile, in real acupuncture, as well as in Chinese herbal medicine, it is rarely used in clinical practice to needle just one point or prescribe single herb. Well-chosen combinations of points as well as herbal formulas are much more effective in most of cases. Then we can observe a synergy effect among other treatment results. Therefore, conducting numerous studies in TCM based on the methodology of Western symptomatic diagnostics, like in the case of Tsusanli, brings nothing new and valuable, because numerous previous studies have repeatedly confirmed the effectiveness and scope of this point. Tsusanli till now has much more than 2,800 published research. This is already known in Chinese medicine a long time ago, and there is no point to reinventing the wheel and wasting time and money on such research. And the same is true for hundreds of other similar types of research. In scientific papers, this should be discussed in the discussion section and not over and over again and mixed within both systems without criticism. What is referred to as a disease unit in Western medicine is just a symptom in Chinese medicine, and the cause is usually elsewhere, like for example in case of discopathy. From our point of view, it is not the problem, neurological problem or orthopedic problem, but this is deficiency of spleen qi, mainly based by improper diet and lifestyle. According to the fundamental principle of TCM, it's more important to treat cause than the root of disease, which does not mean that the symptoms, biao, branches, should be ignored, especially when they are dangerous, like excessive bleeding, or severe for the patient, like strong pain. The proportions depend on clinical condition of the patient, but both the root and branches of the disease are treated, not just the symptoms. What is most important from TCM point of view, that one cause may manifest in many symptoms, but on the other side, that one symptom may have different causes. Accordingly, an appropriate treatment must be developed based on the Chinese diagnosis and differentiation of syndromes, means Bianzheng. The symptomatic approach is typical of Western medicine, especially in daily practice when the doctor can't spend much time to treat the patient. The use of such methodology in our case completely loses the scope of TCM, which is based on the holistic philosophy and individualized approach. In the case of symptomatic approach, it is impossible to answer the fundamental questions from the point of view of prophylaxis and therapy. Why did something happen? Or why did this disease appear? This is why we have in Western medicine so many idiopathic and non-specific diseases. Such terms are the evidence of helplessness and ignorance hidden behind professional language. It is not known what are the causes in such diseases in most of cases. For example, in the case of hypertension, approximately 80% are idiopathic cases for which drugs are most often administered almost blindly. 5 main groups of drugs used in the treatment of hypertension do not relate to the emotional state of the patient, among other problems, whereas in Chinese medicine, such compounds can be easily diagnosed and treated appropriately. Applying a methodology developed for pharmacological research, in the case of acupuncture, it is not only meaningless, it is even a scientific disgrace. In acupuncture, it is not possible to use placebo, because sham acupuncture is not a placebo, and for such acupuncture done blindly, we know that it works, but only effect is worse than with proper acupuncture. Randomized double-blind testing have no sense, because the acupuncturist know that he is needling a point and how he is puncturing, manipulating, etc. And the patients know and feels that he is being punctured. The only special exception is if patient is in coma or full anesthesia. The qualifications of the acupuncturist, needling technique, intensity and quality of needle manipulation, etc. are not being considered in the most of research. Moreover, in publications done from the level of systematic review, it is almost unattainable. It has been known for many years that sham acupuncture also gives therapeutic effects, but worse than real acupuncture. Therefore, using it in the EBM as a methodological manipulation, as it leads to distorting results, lowering the effectiveness of acupuncture, especially while comparing results. It is also an intentional risk for exposing patients who use sham acupuncture to worsen treatment effects than they would have been in the case of proper acupuncture. It is shame. Therefore, it is breaking the Hippocratic oath and lack of scientific integrity. Instead of sham acupuncture, comparative EBM studies in TCM should use acupuncture and Western medicine together, Western medicine only. Only this approach is ethical and methodologically correct. The beauty of power of Chinese medicine is in its abundance of methods and possibilities of various approaches in individual treatment. Making TCM similar to the standards of Western medicine through standardization related to the name of diseases in Western medicine and, for example, standardized combination of acupuncture points for needling and moxibution will reduce its possibilities, what would be unfavorable for patients in the future. This is a blind path convenient only for politicians and officials managing the healthcare systems, but not for patients. It does not mean that standardization in TCM is unnecessary. Standardization of names, acupuncture point locations, etc. is useful. Also, it should not ignore the fact that they are alternative point locations or that some points have several locations, like in various Chinese medicine family lineages or different traditions of Chinese medicine. It also seems important to standardize the classification of syndromes with the one hand on the analysis of symptoms and signs based on TCM diagnostics and on the differentiation of Zhangfu pathology patterns. It's also noteworthy to take into consideration the influence of the environment, age, constitution, the time of the year and the day, gender and patient's problem during diagnostic process. Such standardization became the basis for TCM recognition and introduction to the ITCD-11. However, Chinese medicine, excessively standardized in the fashion of Western medicine and based on symptomatic treatment or relying largely to the ICD-10 disease units and the structure of Western medicine, will become an insignificant addition to Western medicine. Medical acupuncture based on the diagnosis of Western medicine is an example of such a simplified approach. Also, what is evident now in many Chinese hospitals of integrative medicine dominated by Western medicine procedures is farther and going farther away from the diversity and possibilities of Chinese medicine. It's very pity. TCM still has the chance, with the wise and courageous policy of the Central Chinese TCM Administration, Chinese TCM universities and their integrative medicine hospitals, as well as TCM NGOs such powerful like World Federation of Acupuncture Moxibution Societies and others, to be an equal partner of Western medicine within the framework of well-understood integrative medicine. However, TCM should not duplicate the mistakes of Western medicine, which cannot cope with many problems and has become a bureaucratic system often focused more on itself than on the well-being of the patients. Therefore, it's necessary to openly, albeit non-confrontational, show the great possibilities of TCM in the diagnosis and treatment of chronic and civilization diseases with which Western medicine can cope very often, cope with or deals much worse comparing to TCM possibilities. TCM, in many cases, is more friendly to the patients and national health system due to lower costs of treatment, shorter period of treatment, lack or small negative side effects for patients. It should be emphasized that there are already several thousand CPGs, clinical practice guidelines, regarding acupuncture itself as the most effective, cheapest and safest treatment method in several hundred diseases. Most of these CPGs are developed and recommended in the richest and most developed countries in the world. However, they are often ignored and unknown or are known by doctors and Western health institutions. And yet, CPGs are based on the IBM research, which results are to the reference points for Western medicine and its institutions. The overriding role of the patient and his well-being should be emphasized, not the convenience of politicians, officials and doctors, or the income of pharmaceutical companies. After all, it is the patient who bears the cost of treatment, directly or indirectly, that it concerns his health and life. Institutionalized Western medicine has turned this relationship upside down very often. We should not follow this false path. The holistic and individualized approach of TCM should be emphasized and not blindly forced into symptomatic standardization in the Western fashion. In the West, more and more patients consciously choose TCM treatment, knowing from their own experience the serious shortcomings of the Western bureaucratic healthcare system. I'm not talking about single doctors, but about the system. They will certainly not want to be treated in the future with such standardized and similar to Western medicine, so-called Chinese medicine, which will resemble the original one only by name. TCM therapists and doctors in the West are fully aware of this. However, we need systematic support from the Central Chinese Administration of TCM, non-governmental organizations and TCM medical authorities. I'm aware that some of the arguments raised here may sound controversial to the authorities and TCM doctors in China who are trying to, inter alia, by standardizing TCM and relating it to the Western disease treatment structure, make TCM equally respected as Western medicine. It is also not my intention to disavow the achievements and possibilities of Western medicine and the need to conduct reliable IBM research in TCM and so on. However, we cannot lose sight of what distinguishes Chinese medicine from Western medicine and is its greatest power. We need to speak about it clearly and loudly. Speak while emphasizing the need for integrated and complementary cooperation on equal, fair terms and conditions. Well-designed IBM research in TCM should be based on the diagnosis of Chinese medicine and differentiation of syndromes, the correct methodology without errors, and not attempting to imitate approaches which are correct for the Western medicine paradigm but stand in contradiction with the Chinese medicine paradigm. Then it would make it possible to clearly demonstrate that TCM is not a strange legacy of the past, but a real one, modern, scientifically proven, and developing medicine that can spread all over the world now, that can be a favorable partner for Western medicine for the benefit of patients and national health systems. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Marek Garmus. Thank you for your in-depth comparison of Chinese medicine and Western medicine, and the analysis of the characteristics and advantages of Chinese medicine and the differences with Western medicine. Dr. Marek Garmus used many actual diseases and cases to reach his point of view, which is Chinese medicine should not imitate to Western medicine. Thanks again. Now let's move to the fourth speaker, Dr. Ioannis Dimitrov. Dr. Ioannis Dimitrov is the president of Hellenic Society of Chinese Medicine, Greece. His speech is titled by Acupuncture for Children and Carers in Support Structures. Welcome.
Dimitriou. It's a pleasure to be with you today. First of all, I would like to say I'm honored to be to this TCM forum, and I would like to give my special thanks to WFAS for inviting me here, and also thank you for participating and helping East Asian medicine flourish. I'm here with you today to talk about acupuncture for children and carers, the carers of these children in support structures. First of all, I would like to say a few things about our organization. Here on the left-hand side on top, you see our logo. It's the Hellenic Corporation of Chinese Medicine. This is a non-government, non-profit company that has been around since 10 years now. And we're a group of people supporting Chinese medicine in Greece. And we have different kind of things that we do. Here I have on my right hand side Yuri Stegonakis. He's the vice president. He has a TCM bachelor and a master degree. And Yuri Stegonakis, he has been offering NADA protocol to refugees and carers in various refugee campuses. Here in the background you see a picture of refugees that they were coming in Lesbos Island years before, and the conditions were really bad. So Yuri Stegonakis was there working as a volunteer and also giving another protocol to the refugees, but also to the carers of the refugees. And on the other side here is a member of our company, Christina Maniavou. She is also a master's in TCM, and she has been also going into various refugees campuses here in Athens to give treatment mainly to women and children in these refugees camps. So this is part of the work that we do as a non-profit organization. And here is a picture of the carers of the refugees, medical doctors mainly, and other healthcare practitioners that they receive the NADA protocol. So our company also is responsible for the NADA education here in Athens, Greece, and in Greece in general, and for the application of it. So us and our students have been voluntarily applying this protocol to people in need. And here are some pictures from Greece. Greece is in the southeast part of Europe, so it's a point entry for many refugees that they come from surrounding countries mainly, to either to stay in Greece or to move further in the north of Europe. And here in this picture you can see refugee camps in Greece. and the conditions many times is really bad, especially in the beginning. Slowly, some places it's getting better, but still it's very difficult for the ones that live inside, but also for the ones that they work inside. And apart from the camps, we have other organizations like the Home Project that they create shelters. So they create shelters and they host refugees that they are staying here in Greece. So here is a picture from a celebration that I also took place a few weeks ago. And this is where we apply our treatment. It's called Yin Yang Clinic. Yin Yang Clinic has been giving free treatment since 2017 in Athens. Every Tuesday evening there are free treatments for people that they are unable to pay for an acupuncture treatment. And it is our pleasure that recently we have been in collaboration with Home Project, and we're able to support the children, the carers of the children. So we know that acupuncture has a lot of offer to many group of people in need. And Yin Yang Clinic has been offering free acupuncture treatments to various people that need acupuncture treatment, but did not have the means. And here is a picture from inside the clinic. Here is myself preparing some herbs. These are some my patients, the children from a shelter. So every week I receive children and I treat them. And at the same day I also receive caregivers of those children. And this is very important because both are stressed. The children, because they have left their home, they have left their countries, they have an uncertain future, and of course this stress is also passed into the caregivers. So we have seen that it is very important to support both, and this can help everyone. It can help the individuals, but it can also help the society. And I believe it is a very important aspect of its therapist, especially of East Asian medicine, which is a holistic medicine, to help others, basically. Even the ones that they cannot give something in return. And it is interesting because here we see a card where we have written down the most frequent things that we treat to these children that you see on your right hand side. So emotional, stress, sleep disturbances, depression are very common, but also musculoskeletal, different kind of pains like headache. But some of the children, they also have more difficult things to treat, such as diabetes or tuberculosis complications, etc. And the caregivers, they also suffer from emotional things, mainly the same, and not that many medical issues. It's mainly musculoskeletal. So on your right-hand side, you can see some of the caregivers. And it's been my pleasure to cooperate with the Chief Executive Officer of Home Project, Sofia Kouvelaki, which has prepared a video for us to see. So,
good evening from the Home Project offices in Athens. The Home Project is an NGO that provides support, protection, education, and social inclusion services to lone refugee children that arrive in Greece. At the moment, there are around 2,100 refugee children that have arrived in Greece all alone, out of which around 600 are homeless, meaning that they are in the camps, in the streets. Some of them are in detention in horrible conditions. And if a child is not placed in a shelter, she or he cannot receive any kind of service nor any information on their rights. It is this gap that we are trying to address at the Home Project. What we do is we create and operate shelters, homes, where children receive a holistic network of child protection services, meaning that we cover basic needs, medical needs, pharmaceutical needs, but also we give great emphasis on social support, mental health support, education, with the final aim of providing to these children whatever they need to become active and productive citizens in society. So the final aim of our efforts is to be able to integrate these kids into society, whether that's in Greece, where they apply for asylum if they're eligible for asylum, or in another European country where we reunify them with their families. Since the beginning of our operations, we have provided this holistic network of child protection support to more than 750 children. We have reunified 130 kids with their families, and at the moment we operate 14 homes in Athens with a total capacity of 270 children. 3 out of these homes are for minor girls and minor mothers with their babies. 1 is for children aged 5 to 12, and the rest are for teenage boys aged 12 to 18. And now we have opened the shelter for 18 plus in order to support these youngsters in their transition into autonomy. Now, in this holistic child protection network of services that we offer, the whole part of the mental health and well-being of the children is extremely important to us. So in every shelter there's a psychologist, there's a child psychiatrist overseeing all the kids, and there are also external supervisors for all of our staff that provide supervision sessions on a weekly basis. And of course, we're doing continuous trainings and capacity building in matters of child protection every month. Besides all these supportive mechanisms, there is still burnout amongst our staff, secondary fatigue, secondary trauma, because they're dealing with a highly vulnerable population of children. And what we have noticed is that very often, it's not very easy to distinguish what's a medical issue, what is a psychopathological issue amongst the children. And then the interesting thing is that very often these issues are also transferred to the staff. So what Dr. Dimitriou has been doing for us, offering acupuncture sessions on a voluntary basis for our kids and our staff, has been of extreme help for us. It has helped us enhance the creation of healing environments beyond our homes, and we have witnessed that this works in a very therapeutic way, both for the children and the staff that they receive the session. So we have been going for the past months, once a week with children and staff to Dr. Dimitriou's clinic to receive acupuncture sessions, and the results we have seen amongst children and staff, they are really remarkable. I just want to share with you some of the data that we have collected. So specifically the children that have received acupuncture sessions are children that suffer from anxiety, chronic medical diseases like kidney disease, thyroid issues, highly emotionally sensitive, and also having to deal with the challenges of being a refugee, the legal status and uncertainty, the new environment, the new culture, the foreign language. So a lot of them have expressed anxiety disorders, sleeping disorders, constant headaches, gastrointestinal problems, and there's amongst all of them a common symptom of depression and very often PTSD. So after their acupuncture sessions, we've seen that all of their symptoms and conditions have significantly improved, but beyond that, there has been a very beneficial effect in terms of the psychopedagogical aspect of what we do. More specifically, the kids have felt that there is an individualized and cared approach in the way Dr. Dimitriou has accommodated them. They have experienced his clinic as a healing environment that offers dignity very different to the public hospitals that they have been used to. They have also said, that they have never experienced something similar before, and we have witnessed that this has enhanced their ability to be more open to new experiences, which is a very significant life skill for education. Characteristically, I'm going to share quotes directly from the children. I felt like I was being seen as an important person. This environment was totally different from any other experience I had. At the beginning, I was afraid of the needles, but I gave a chance, and now I look forward for the next session. Now, similarly, this has worked wonders with our staff as well, who also experience anxiety, sleeping disorders, constant headaches with no medical and pathological reasoning, as well as kinetic issues, specifically knee issues, back and neck problems. So after the opportunity they had, they shared that they felt like a gift was being given to them. They felt like they are being cared for by their employer. They felt like they had the opportunity to address their personal needs, not related with the working environment, in a way that their physical health is improved. We have seen how acupuncture, but also the way Dr. Dimitriou has been approaching our kids and our staff has significantly enhanced all the child protection structure that we are trying to provide on a daily basis for the children. And also it has enhanced our effort to be able to support our staff so that they are able to support the kids under our care. And we're extremely grateful to Dr. Dimitriou for this, and we hope to continue our amazing collaboration together. Thank you very much.
Yes, that was Sofia Kouvelaki. First of all, I am the one that has to say thank you, because I've been given the opportunity to give help to people that they really need it. And here I would like also to thank my teachers in China. For example, one of the oldest teachers I had, now he's not in life since a few years, Master Duan Zhiliang. He has done the same during his life, so I'm basically following his footsteps. I remember telling us stories that he was going into different orphanages and he was helping with the kids. So it is an honor to serve in such a place. And what I would like to say, and the message that I would like to pass, is that acupuncture as a non-verbal treatment can help a lot in shelters, in places where there is need. So different countries, they might have different places to give help to people. And I think from the results that we have been having up to today, acupuncture can offer help both into the ones that they receive the help, but also to the ones that they give the help. So having said this, I would like to thank you for watching this, and I hope if you're a therapist that you find also a way that you can support others. I think this is important for us as professionals, but also as human beings. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Ioannis Dimitriou. Thank you and your team for using TCM acupuncture techniques to help so many refugees, especially the children and teenagers. I personally deeply feel that the combination of love and Chinese medicine technology can bring not only the health to the world, but also the warmth from the bottom of our heart. Thank you for your contribution and kindness. Now let's move to the fifth speaker, Dr. Anna Zinke, the President of Chinese Medicine Department, International Association for the Promotion and Development of Quantum Medicine, Serbia. Her speech is titled Post-COVID-19 Syndrome Treatment with Acupuncture, Medical Qigong, and Arcane Concept. Welcome, Dr. Anna.
大家好，非常感谢你们的邀请。我很高兴有机会参加今天的会议。我希望我的这个工作成果对这个会议有一定的贡献，也希望对大家有一些的帮助。Hello everyone, hello from Serbia. I'm Dr. Anna Zinke, and today I'm representing our society Quantus. We are the members of World Federation of Acupuncture and Moxibustion Societies. I want to say big hello from all doctors from my side. And we all think that it's a big thing nowadays to organize these kind of meetings and to have opportunity to share our knowledge and wisdom. My topic today is post-COVID-19 syndrome treatment with acupuncture, medical Qigong, and Aku-Kin concept. I think that for all of us, previous 2 years were full of challenges. And in the beginning was the situation of COVID and treatment. Then later on, we start to think more about prevention of disease. But after some time, it was clear that there is a post-COVID-19 syndrome, which is happening, and we need to treat that as well. Let us remember that the outbreak of corona disease 2019 was announced as pandemic by the World Health Organization on March 2020. Up to nowadays, a large part of the global population has affected and causing mass sickness, hospitalization, and death. Usually, Chinese medical treatment with herbs is recommended during COVID-19 treatment, and acupuncture and moxibustion have been mostly suggested for use in rehabilitation stage. I would like to say that since beginning of this situation, I was following the publications and protocol given by Chinese medical doctors. And in this work, all protocols and different treating methods are actually followed by their suggestions. Also, in individual treatments, some other methods were suggested. The core of this work is to suggest protocols and different treating methods in post-COVID-19 syndrome treatment. What is actually post-COVID-19 syndrome? Also is known as the long COVID. This is a term used to describe the condition experienced by people who have had COVID-19 and they're suffering with connecting symptoms weeks later. This is actually the range of new, returning, or ongoing health problems people can experience after first being infected with the virus that caused COVID-19. Nowadays, it's said that approximately 1 in 10 people who test positive with COVID-19 go on to suffer with the post-COVID-19 syndrome. Who are the people and who experience lingering COVID-19 symptoms? Usually, those are adults over age of 50, people who experienced a more severe case of COVID-19, individuals with underlying health conditions, particularly cardiopulmonary issues, hypertension, diabetes, or obesity, and people who have not required care from a specialist during their actual illness. As COVID by itself has the wide range of symptoms, as well, the post-COVID syndrome has many symptoms as well. Here, I gave the list of the symptoms which were the most present in my clinic. These are fatigue, weakness, sleeplessness, then chronic cough, shortness of breath, lung inflammation and fibrosis, pulmonary vascular disease. Patients were complaining and are complaining about difficult breathing, chest pain. There is protracted loss of change in smell and taste, continuing headaches, tinnitus, vertigo, joint pain. A lot of people are complaining about the brain fog, including inability to concentrate and impaired memory. Skin rashes were also present. Treatment has 3 parts. Patients were treated with acupuncture, medical Qigong, and Aku-Kin concept. What were the main principles of these treatments? To restore vitality, to repair functions of viscera such as lungs, spleen, and kidney, to calm the mind and nurture Shen, actually spirit. As I told already in the beginning, treatments are done according to protocols given by the experts group of the China Association of Acupuncture and Moxibustion, and new protocols applied in individual cases. I gave here the list of some points which were mostly used during the treatments. And San Yinjiao, Neiguan, Susan Li, Zhongguan, Tianshu, and Qihai were the main points. According to syndrome, extra points were applied. Usually, 3 organs which are most affected by post-COVID syndrome are spleen, kidney, and lungs. And also these organs are also in Chinese medicine very responsible for immunity of the whole body. Main syndromes were deficiency of Qi and Yin, kidney Yin deficiency, and deficiency of lung and spleen. In deficiency of Qi and Yin, usually symptoms were weakness, tiredness, dry mouth, thirst, palpitation, excessive sweating, poor appetite, low or no fever, dry cough with few phlegm, dry tongue with less saliva, pulse was fine or weak. According to the main symptoms which were present, extra acupoints were added. Here is the list of them. The next very present syndrome was kidney yin deficiency. And in this case, when deficient kidney yin fluid fails to nourish the brain and ears, there are forgetfulness, brain fog, dizziness, tinnitus. Patients sometimes are saying that they're disorientated in the space and time. When deficient kidney yin fluid fails to nourish the lumbar area of knees, there is manifestation of soreness and weakness in the lumbar region and knees. Also, the next what can be present is disharmony between the heart and kidney. And actually, we are saying that this is the harmony of fire and water, this harmony between basic yin and yang in our body. So there are additional acupoints which were added. The third one is deficiency of lung and spleen. Here we have stasis of phlegm and dampness, which is blocking meridians. So we have symptoms as chest tightness, shortness of breath, no desire to speak, to communicate, fatigue, and very present are symptoms of not so good digestion, as bloated abdomen, sweating when we move, cough with phlegm, dry skin, mental fatigue, poor appetite. If phlegm and dampness are blocked, the main points we are using are Frenlong, San Yinjiao, and Ding Chong. Beside acupuncture, we were also using scalp acupuncture, auricular acupuncture, gua sha, pediatric massage, acupressure. In every individual case, acupuncture needles will leave on the body 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes patients were treated only on the front side, sometimes and back and front. Here I just gave the some areas or zones of the body which were used in different methods. For example, one is scalp acupuncture. In auricular acupuncture, gua sha was the method which was used by doctors and practitioners. As well, we learned patients how to use these methods on themselves. Actually, we learned them which area of the body to use according to the syndromes they have and according to their individual situation. Cupping therapy was also used, moving, rotating, and fixed cups, and usually the reaction was very good if fire cupping method was used on back shoe points. Very good results we saw by treating patients with medical Qigong. I have to say that during my life in China, this is something which I really like the most. And I said that this is the pearl of my knowledge from Chinese medicine. I think it's very useful if doctors nowadays know some kind of medical Qigong that they can use by themselves as well to teach the patients. And this is the method which combines movements, meditation, and regulation of breathing to enhance the flow of Qi in the body. Very good results were here. No difference are they done by a doctor, or later on we taught patients how to do them. Online sessions were given, individual sessions and group sessions when that was possible. Before COVID situation, I had a lot of patients who learned how to do and practice Qigong by themselves. So when this situation happened, it was a very good opportunity to continue to practice in the groups and by themselves. Here I just gave the list of some exercises which were very useful to enhance the system of kidney, spleen and lung, as well the flow of qi in the whole body. Tapping meridians, skin breathing, conscious walking, activation of bioactive points. Big tree exercise is very useful, and patients feel the big change and very fast change in the flow of qi through whole the body, activation of dantian and stimulation of 3 dantians. The best results, what I could see was given in seasonal Qigong treatment. Seasonal Qigong is a concept which is given to the patients according to the season we are, and daily activation of active elements in combination with Aku-Kin concept. This was very good because it's easy to teach patients how to do it by themselves, and even they could do several times during the day, which was recommended if patient condition of weakness and tiredness was very serious. Home self-care and practice under the guidance of doctors usually was given in the area of maxibustion therapy. Food bath reaction was very good because selected Chinese herbs with the function of dispelling wind and heat, eliminating pathogens and toxins. Steel rings were used because they provide the gentle massage and daily activation of meridians as well as acupoints, and gua sha therapy. Gua sha therapy, once when it's learned, it's very easy to use in the conditions of home self-care, and it's very important in this situation which meridians and which direction is used during the treatments. When we are doing some research, and I believe that in particular stage of our work as practitioners of Chinese medicine, there is a wish to do some research. And what is significance of this research? For me, this is in multidisciplinarity. I was very interested for different kinds of ancient medicines in different continents, and I found out actually that the knowledge of ancient people is based on holistic understanding of health, as well on holistic approach to man as a part of universe. Actually, the person is the universe. And in this work, I want to share with you something which I named Aku-Kin concept, which I follow by myself and my students are following during already several years. And now I'm capable to share results of these treatments, and hopefully I could share it with more practitioners of Chinese medicine. This is comparison and advantage of using some principles together from traditional Chinese medicine and medicine of ancient Mayan people. Why I was actually inspired to start to think about this concept. Already for some time I was thinking about what is space and what is time in the human body, and that actually space and time are represented by the flow of qi in the universe. Also, one question that I was really inspired with is how we can help the best to someone now. And actually, what is now? What is now in Chinese medicine, and what is now in the medicine of ancient Mayan people? Nowadays, we could say that time on our planet Earth is full of challenges, and even is full of challenges for us doctors of Chinese medicine, for example, who know what is Tao, and I believe so. We are trying by our lifestyle to experience ourselves and nature as one. But in time of COVID, many challenges are happening all over the world. So many of us also were maybe sick or lose some members of our family or friends. And it's not easy. It's not easy, I think, nowadays for anyone, because the emotional challenges are big. And the nature of our job is asking for us to stay concentrated, focused, and to stay in peace with ourselves and with patients. I found out that the Qigong concept can help us in that, because by knowing it, it brings us to the moment now. So we are really, because everything is changing, as we know, every day is different, the patient is different, even if it's the same patient from before, us are different also. So we have to be connected, we have to be present in the moment in order that the help we are giving to people and ourselves is the best one. Qigong concept combines the knowledge and wisdom of Chinese medicine and calendar of natural time. This is actually the calendar of 13 moons, 28 days calendar, and is based on sacred Mayan calendar. Both eras have in common the belief that humans are the part of nature, and that the flow of vital energy happening in the nature is also happening in the human body. What are advantages of knowing this concept? Knowing and following these principles in daily life, each individual can do a lot to keep healthy and balanced life and prevent disease. In case that disbalance occurs, usage of the same principles applied to daily active organ and meridians can help us to regain our health faster. This is special part I want to point out for practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine, that actually for us, importance of knowing this concept is better understanding ourselves and daily qi flow, stimulation of daily active acupoints. As everything is energy and we are all in the field of qi, understanding of Qigong concept allows healers and doctors to be more connected. I think here we are not connected with phones and computers. Actually, we are all sharing the same flow of qi. We are all the acupoints of the same system. And then when we allow qi to flow smoothly through us, through our practice, through our patients, actually, we are all on the way to achieve one field of unobstructed flow of qi, field of healthy qi. I suppose that you know that in Chinese medicine there is something what it's called Chrono treatment method based on Chinese calendar. And in Chinese calendar we have 10 heavenly steams and 12 earthly branches. I know this method and I learned it in China, and sometimes in the beginning I was using it with daily active chrono points. But already many years, 16 years, I'm following, as I said already, the calendar of natural time, and I found a lot of similarities in the medicine of Asian people, and especially here between this calendar and some principles of Chinese medicine, actually the way how Chinese medicine observes the human body. So let us see. Here, for the need of this work, I'm just going to say some main points that you can understand what the concept is about, because this field is quite huge. So the whole calendar is following something which is called Tzolk'in or harmonic model. It looks like this. Tzol means count, kin means days, and in sacred Mayan culture, it's said that Tzolk'in is a region of 1320 frequency of universal synchronization. Every kin has its own position and its combination of something which is called solar seal and galactic tone. We have altogether 20 solar seals and 13 galactic tones, and this is what you see in front of yourself actually represent the galactic pattern of energetic codes. How we can now define now with Qigong concept? Now, on one side, on the left side of this slide, we can see that there is a moon, because in the calendar we have 13 moons. Each moon has 28 days. This is connected with the flow, with the actually circle of the moon, because moon needs 28 days to circle around our planet Earth. So we have the flow of qi through the moons, through weeks, which here are called heptad, and as well, this flow of time in the nature is reflected, later you will see, on our human body. In Chinese medicine, we have also the flow of qi through meridians, and we know that we have 12 main meridians, 12 plus 8 extra meridians, and during the 24 hours of the day, we have something which is called a biodynamic of the qi. Actually, in every 2 hours, we have the maximum of qi in particular organ. Also, we have the seasonal flow of qi because we have 5 seasons. So we know what is the best to do for us as a doctors as well for patients in particular part of the year. Now, in Sacred Mayan calendar, we observe the body also through frequency 1320, because I want to say that on our human body, we have 20 altogether fingers and toes, as well the 13 main joints in the human body. They wanted to say that in this way, we are actually in ourselves is also the pattern of the nature, because the calendar is all about the flow of universal energy in the nature. And every day or every person has the active part of the body, which is representing by finger or a toe, by some joint or wrist, maybe, it depends on the energy of the day, as well something which we know that it's named chakras, but actually in Chinese medicine also in the place of every main chakra, there is one acupoint. Here, on another side, we can also see that in Chinese medicine, all fingers and toes, actually the beginning of fingers and toes are very important because there is a flow of qi starting and ending the meridian. And this is the place where we can very fast influence the flow of qi. This is the position where jing points are, which we are using in some urgent situations. It's very interesting how we can connect and how we can observe space and time in the human body with comparison of the Chinese medicine and calendar of natural time. For example, I just want to say that Ren and Du Mai are also represented in the middle part of our body. And in Chinese medicine, we also know that this is the way where microcosmic and microcosmic orbit are circling. And at the same time, in Tzolk'in chart, this is the center of that chart, which also reflect the position of our body. This is the part of my work I already presented on World Federation of Acupuncture and Moxibustion Societies in 2019 in Turkey. And there I was speaking more about that, but this I just want to say the part of the concept. What is qi in Chinese medicine? It's something what we call plasma in calendar of the natural time. Actually, plasmas producing the something which is called radium, and it's a fuel of our body. It's the fuel which circulates the universe. And also by inhaling the plasmas on daily level, we inhale them with prana, and they're charging our etheric body. The meaning of plasmas is very important because it's said that they activate our electromagnetic field, connect us with different levels of the mind and simulate telepathy, enables us to have better perceptions of expansion of consciousness and liberate the energy which is contained in each symbol. So far you could see that by daily knowing which plasma is active, it's activating that one part of our body, and you can see now that position of each plasma is represented by one acupoint. So actually by knowing that and consciously by activating the acupoints, we are influencing our consciousness as well the electromagnetic field of our body. One very interesting comparison I done with Dantian. This is position which we are practicing in medical Qigong, and a lot of classes I gave to my students to enhance this position in our body because it's also activates the Qi, the vital substance of our body. On another side, this is position of one plasma in calendar which is called Kali, and this plasma has a potential to transform and to catalyze the change inside of our body. So it's a very, very powerful position as well. As I said, we have 13 articulations of the human body. Each articulation has its own questions. So we have the psychosomatic aspect of how we observe our body. And one very important part, which actually I use the most in the post-COVID syndrome patients, is how to activate the points, daily active points on our scalp. As I said, that each day has active plasma. This plasma is mirrored on our body as well on the scalp. I'm also very interested for scalp acupuncture. as the part of acupuncture. So I found a lot of similarities between these points and between some zones and areas which are given by scalp acupuncture. This was the shortest way to present to you, at least shortly, and some main aspects, how the knowledge of natural time based on this calendar can be reflected in our body, and actually some parts of our body, if we observe them through the scope of Chinese medicine and acupuncture, gives us the same message. As well, this is also interesting, that the I Ching Book of Changes can be also represented and observed through Tolkien. So, as I said in the beginning, all patients post-COVID-19 syndrome patients were treated by acupuncture, medical Qigong, and Aku-Kin concept. The big advantage is that they were also taught how some of the methods, according to their individual situation, according to the season, according to the day, which techniques of all techniques I mentioned previously, they can use home by themselves. So what are the conclusions and results of this treatment? Faster regain the balance and health in the body, calm the mind and nurture the spirit and soul, less tired, mental clarity, better breathing, regain the sense of smell and taste. The whole body movement were better quality of sleep. The aim one was also to cultivate healthy habits on the daily level and become and remain healthy. One of my most favorite sentences that actually many patients had was, now I know my body better and I'm amazed by the strength of it. And I really think this is the ultimate aim because in that way we become and remain healthy. Aku-Kin concept, actually it's concept where we are gaining while unifying the knowledge of ancient medicines. We are following the rhythmic flow of Qi, we as a practitioner as well our patients. We are practicing some movements of medical Qigong. There are some exercises of daily acupressure. And I want to say that I already gave numerous trainings in China, Taiwan, and Mexico. And in the field of acupuncture, I plan to do this in the future more in the world because further research is needed. And it's needed also by people who know the basics of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. As well, they can gain a lot in their practice by knowing this concept, I hope. The biggest symposiums or gatherings were in Mexico in 2019, and also I gave lecture on this topic in 2019 in Turkey. We have to remember that nature is organized and that everything supports everything else. The same process that creates nature creates people. In certain way, there are some similarities in the approach of traditional Chinese medicine and ancient Mayan people. We have to remember that language of universe is expressed in nature as well in our body. We are all acupuncture points of a wonderful system. And let's together create better, healthier, more peaceful and joyful world. That would be my final message for this symposium. I wish you healthy, prosperous days, and I hope that you can get some more knowledge or wisdom for treating post-COVID syndrome patients from lecture I shared with you. Bye-bye, Zaijian. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anna Zinke. Thank you for sharing your experience in treatment of post-COVID-19 syndrome and give us a comprehensive introduction for these symptoms, TCM classification, and the pathogenesis of post-COVID-19 syndrome, especially the usage of acupuncture, medical Qigong treatment, achieved very good results. And finally, the Aquin concept is very impressive. I cannot imagine, as a foreigner, she has such deep research in Chinese traditional culture, like the ancient Chinese classic I Ching. It's very impressive. Thank you again for your sharing your knowledge and experiences. Now let's move to the sixth speakers, Dr. Gervan Miklos Andras, the executive member and deputy secretary general of European Federation and Acupuncture Massage Societies, Hungary. His speech is titled Development of Acupuncture Massage of TCM in Hungary. So welcome.
Dear Chairman Liu Bauyan, distinguished leaders, experts, and colleagues, good morning or good afternoon for everyone. My name is Gervai Miklos András. I am from Hungary. I am very happy to be together with all of you and to have the opportunity to exchange of views and study with everyone here. The topic of our report is general situation of the development of traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture in Hungary. I am speaking now in the name of Professor Scalp Acupuncture, Balla János, and Professor Chang. Historical development, three periods of budding, development, and maturity. The budding period, 1830 till 1986, is the budding period, represented by the acupuncture paper published by Dr. Antal Lahner in 1830, the slow budding stage of the development of acupuncture in Hungarian traditional Chinese medicine began. The paper gave a brief definition of acupuncture is the insertion of thin metal needles into human body in the ill states. In 1962, publishing house Gondolat, that means thought, published the book Traditional Chinese Medicine by Professor Pálos István, 1922 till 2014. The earliest use of laser acupuncture was Dr. Simoncic Péter, by Dr. Simoncic Péter and by Dr. Bodor Géza, who started in the 1980s, and Dr. Simoncic published several acupuncture books. In 1984, the Hungarian Biophysical Society held an academic conference. Professor Zhu Haidong from the Institute of Biophysics of the Chinese Academy of Sciences was invited to Hungary to participate in the conference and had academic exchanges with Hungarian scholars on acupuncture and meridian biology. From 1830 to 1986, during the 156 years, acupuncture occurred only sporadically in Hungary. Some Hungarian doctors went to China to study acupuncture. During this period, acupuncture doctors had knowledge composed by very different sources. There were Soviet, German, French, and Japanese schools in Hungary. second period, development period 1987 to 2015. It entered a period of development and growth. The team of the Hellenic Chinese Academy of Medicine, led by Professor Chang, established a joint venture in Hungary in 1987. It was the first TCM acupuncture clinic to open, and it entered soon a period of its rapid growth. Professor Chang is a well-known Chinese physician recognized by UNESCO as representing the intellectual cultural heritage of Chinese medicine and acupuncture, who was the former president of Hellenic Chinese Academy of Medicine. He was an internationally renowned master of acupuncture needle manipulations. He was the one who started the real spread and development of traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture in Hungary in 1987. He trained several teachers to inherit acupuncture techniques in Hungary, making the development of Hungarian TCM acupuncture and maxibustion unique in Central and Eastern Europe and throughout Europe. The team of famous acupuncture experts sent by the Hellenic Academy of Chinese Medicine was led by Professor Wu Bingqiang, the former deputy director of the Institute of Acupuncture and Meridian. The members of that team were Professor Chang Shuming, Professor Wang Fengyi, Chief Physician Li Yuqin, and Chief Physician Zhang Xiaobin. The Hungarian partner of the joint venture was Dr. Yuri Ayandok. Dr. Yuri Ayandok, 1945 till 2020, he has done many pioneering things in the development of traditional Chinese medicine in Hungary. He was the first who invited Chinese medicine practitioners to work to Hungary, Chang Qin's professor team. He was pioneer of Hungarian Chinese medicine and acupuncture clinic, firm support, the disseminator and pioneer of Chinese acupuncture and maxibustion. They participated in basic medical research of acupuncture and maxibustion at the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, author of many books in the field of acupuncture. From 1987 to 2015, during the 28 years period, TCM acupuncture clinics radiated from the capital of Hungary to other cities. The number of TCM acupuncture and maxibustion organizations was increasing, and traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture and maxibustion education entered to the various medical universities as elective courses and 5-year undergraduate education. More and more people have enjoyed Chinese acupuncture and maxibustion treatment during this period. In June 2005, Zhu Haidong, the ambassador of People's Republic of China in Hungary, met with the academician Prof. Magyar Kálmán, the member of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, and the president of the Federation of Hungarian Medical Associations, Dr. Salma Béla, to discuss matters concerning the promotion of Chinese medicine. In 2005, under the joint efforts of the founding president, Professor Yu Funian, and colleagues, together with friendly people from all walks of life, established the Hungarian Chinese Medicine Association, which successfully joined to the Hungarian Medical Association. This is the medical organization of the country, such as the Chinese Medicine Group. The Oriental Sinopharm Group was established in Budapest in 2006 under the chairmanship of Dr. Chang, which is the largest Chinese medicine research, development, and manufacturing based in Central and Eastern Europe. Third period, maturity period marked by legislation. The period after 2015 is the maturity period. It has entered a legislative maturity period marked by the traditional Chinese medicine legislation case passed by the Hungarian parliament in December 2014 and the implementation rules promulgated in December 2015. Although there will be several years of establishment and enforcement to be done in the future, due to national legislation, Chinese medicine can squeeze into the health and medical industry of the country and enter the normal development. Hungary became the first country in Europe to legislate on traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. Currently, there are about 200 acupuncture clinics in Hungary and about 20 Chinese clinics. In June 2015, the chairman of the European Foundation for the Development of Chinese Medicine in Healthcare and the former Prime Minister of Hungary, Dr. Medgyessy Péter, accompanied by Dr. Xia Linchun, Vice Chairman and Secretary General of the Central and Eastern European Central Committee, visited the World Federation of Chinese Medicine Societies, WFCMS, in Beijing. Li Zhenqi, Secretary General of the United Nations, conducted extensive exchanges on the development of Chinese medicine. In August 2016, Professor Liu Bauyan, chairman of the World Federation of Acupuncture and Maxibustion Societies, led a group of academic experts to visit Hungary for academic exchanges and sign a memorandum of understanding with the Hungarian Medical Federation, MOTES, and he established the first acupuncture and maxibustion heritage basis in Europe, namely here in Budapest, Hungary. By this inauguration, a new cooperation platform was established in the field of Chinese medicine and acupuncture between China and Hungary. In April, the Hungarian government agreed to the construction plan for the development of Chinese medicine education in the School of Health Sciences of Semmelweis University. The Hungarian government agreed to build a building for the Central and Eastern European Chinese Medicine Center. In June 2017, Chinese Deputy Prime Minister Liu Haidong and his entourage visited to Hungary and attended a series of China-Hungary TCM education cooperation activities, listened to the report on the teaching cooperation between Semmelweis University and Hellenic University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, watched TCM clinical teaching classes, and led the Foundation for China's CEEC Central in Hungary. 2019, in November, the 16th World Congress of Traditional Chinese Medicine was held in Budapest, Hungary. More than 700 Chinese medicine scholars, experts, and professors from all over the world gathered in Budapest to share their theoretical research, clinical experiences, and scientific achievements. Organization of Traditional Chinese Medicine Acupuncture. In 1987, the Hungarian Society of Physicians and Acupuncture, MOT, was established Only those who have a diploma in Western medicine and a license for acupuncture can join the organization. The Hungarian Society of Acupuncture and Maxibustion, so-called MAME, was established in 1989 and became a group member of the World Federation Acupuncture and Maxibustion Societies, WFAS. A few years later, in 1996, the Hungarian Union of Complementary and Alternative Medicine was established. In 2002, the Hungarian Society of Traditional Chinese Medicine was established. Although the Hungarian Society of Traditional Chinese Medicine was established later than other societies, it is more professional. So far, it has had 7 international academic conferences, held public health lectures and free consultations throughout the country, and its members have cumulatively treated more than 1 million patients. The popularity of traditional Chinese acupuncture and maxibustion in Hungary has been significantly increased. The Hungarian Society of Acupuncture and Tuina was established in 2007 and became a member of the World Federation of Acupuncture and Maxibustion Societies, WFAS, in 2013. The Middle European Association of Chinese Medicine was established in 2008, headquartered in Budapest. In 2013, the European Foundation of the Development of Chinese Medicine in Healthcare and Traditional Chinese Medicine was established in Budapest. In 2016, the Central and Eastern European Federation of Chinese Medicine Societies was established. Former Hungarian Prime Minister Dr. Medgyessy Péter was the honorary chairman of the federation, and the former Ambassador Chu So-shu was the honorary chairman for life. The aim is to promote the development of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture in Central and Eastern Europe. Headquartered in Hungary, it has successfully held 2 international academic conferences and an online academic conference in Budapest. In 2020, the European Federation of Acupuncture and Maxibustion Societies was established with the purpose of promoting the development of Chinese acupuncture and maxibustion in Europe and to promote a better chance for traditional Chinese herbal medicine, which should play a special role also in the Western world. It is headquartered in Budapest, Hungary also. Education in traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture. Hungarian TCM acupuncture education began in the 1980s. In 1988, the Hajnal Imre Health Medical College, HIETE, first launched the acupuncture training program, which included 2 weeks of theoretical study and 40 hours of internship. Acupuncture and maxibustion education have also appeared and still work in the famous medical university schools in the 4 major cities of Hungary: Budapest, Debrecen, Szeged, Miskolc. Although it is only an elective course of 10-20 hours for medical students to choose, and this is not too much, but it anyway may be a faint sign for the future of recognition of traditional Chinese medicine and traditional Chinese acupuncture in the Hungarian medical community. This situation with these promising results is unique, not only in Europe, but also in all countries in the world out of China. This is a unique achievement of traditional Chinese medicine in the world history. The real formal university education of TCM acupuncture is the Hungarian branch of Hellenic University of Chinese Medicine, established in October 2010 by the Faculty of Health Sciences of Budapest Semmelweis University, Hellenic University of Chinese Medicine, and the Hungarian Society of Traditional Chinese Medicine. The project is full-time. The TCM course is undertaken by the Hungarian Chinese Medicine Society, and the Western Medicine course is undertaken by Semmelweis University. The final year, the fifth one, clinical internship is completed at the Hellenic University of Chinese Medicine in China. This historic project is still progressing smoothly. In September 2015, the TCM course of the Confucius College of Traditional Chinese Medicine at Pécs University of Science, supported by the Chinese government funds and teachers, was launched. It is understood that this TCM course is currently training local doctors to learn acupuncture. The course and duration are unknown. Although the methods of the two universities are different, they have the same purpose: to jointly promote the development of Hungarian TCM acupuncture education. Unofficial TCM acupuncture education is also very active. For example, the famous international TCM acupuncture education expert, Professor Wu Bingqiang, Canada, Ontario College of Traditional Chinese Medicine, Hungarian branch, Health Training College, Health Record and Training Center at EMC, Shannon Research Institute, and so on. The Dr. Wu's head massage monograph by Professor Wu Bingqiang was published in Hungarian language in 2006. It was translated by Hungarian, the Chinese physician, Dr. Gervai Miklós András, me. That time it was established the Hungarian International Dr. Wu's Head Massage and Qigong Research Association in Budapest, Hungary. In 2017, the Chinese-Hungarian English Standard for Basic Terminology of Traditional Chinese Medicine was published and issued by Professor Yu Funian and the editor-in-chief of Dr. Mark Oravec Mark, a Chinese physician in Hungary. In June 2021, the Hungarian Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture, edited by Hungarian Dr. Oravec Mark and Professor Yu Funian and Professor Shao Baikin, as the associate editor, has published in Hungarian language as a textbook for undergraduate Chinese medicine. The above books are published. The education and development of TCM acupuncture in Hungary will have milestone significance. In short, Hungarian TCM acupuncture education can be described as a blossoming reality. As an addition to the university degree education and short-term elective courses, there also exists unofficial TCM acupuncture education. Although certificates of unofficial training institutions are not necessarily recognized by national higher education institutions, but they are well supplement to the official curriculum of national education institutions and an important source of knowledge of TCM acupuncture. Legislation of TCM acupuncture. After the first group of TCM practitioners came to Hungary in 1986, 1987, after 33 years of hard work by 2 generations of TCM practitioners, the qualifications of TCM practice have become finally protected by law. The success of TCM acupuncture legislation is the result of the efforts of TCM practitioners, the support of the 2 governments, the recognition of the people, and the multilateral influence and efforts of the international environment. The Hungary's first TCM acupuncture joint venture clinic was opened in 1987 in Budapest, in the capital of Hungary. After that, the number of Chinese doctors working there gradually increased, and beginning in 1990, the Hungarian Minister of Health personally signed the license for Chinese doctors to practice medicine, allowing them to work under the supervision of Western medicine doctors, and the license had to be renewed for every year. The issuance of these licenses were ceased in 1998. The Hungarian Society of Traditional Chinese Medicine have sent a letter to the then Prime Minister Medgyessy Péter before he visited to China in 2003. In that letter, there were listed the difficulties encountered by TCM practitioners in Hungary, and the matter of the issuance of medical licenses caused by the change of government. The ups and downs, lack of legal protection, and other issues, the Prime Minister instructed the Ministry of Health, who subsequently provisionally approved the qualifications of 13 Chinese doctors to practice traditional Chinese medicine under the supervision of Hungarian doctors. On November the 26th in 2013, 3 parliamentarians who are Western medicine doctors submitted a bill to the parliament and to amend Article 29 of the Hungarian Medicine and Health Law, the Traditional Chinese Medicine Legislation Act, on December 9 in 2013. It passed a parliamentary vote. With a final vote on December the 17 in 2014, the Hungarian parliament formally passed a law on the legalization of Chinese medicine. On September the 18th in 2015, the Hungarian Ministry of Human Resources enacted 42 2015 9.18. On the basis of this law, implementation rules discussion draft number 3, which set out detailed regulations on the license issuance conditions for practitioners of traditional Chinese medicine. It was formally implemented on October the 18th in 2015. After this legislation for practicing independent, they must have 5 or more years of study, experience in Chinese medicine universities, speak Hungarian. They must have more than 3 years of work experience as the basic condition. Striving to regulate by the legislation of the host country is an important sign of the development and maturity outside China of the TCM acupuncture industry. Before the beginning of the last century, the United States, Australia, Canada, and other Commonwealth countries took the lead in enacting TCM acupuncture legislation. These countries have a century-old immigration history, and they have a large Chinese community, which created them a solid foundation to let an organic development, the Commonwealth, so-called Commonwealth model of the international development of TCM. The Hungarian TCM acupuncture legislation and the development of more than 30 years have broken the common development model of the Commonwealth and created the second new model in the world. The academic circles call it the so-called Hungarian model, which means that the number of TCM practitioners is small and the development of TCM is relatively late, but it developed quickly. The Hungarian model provides lessons for the countries and regions belong to the One Belt, One Road. Thinking about the development of TCM acupuncture for the future. Education, medical treatment, and academic exchanges have promoted legislation. After the legislation, there will be further development in education, medical treatment, and academic exchanges. The Hungarian TCM legislation actually doesn't cover the whole TCM. It covers only the acupuncture with some acupressure and massage. The license clearly states acupuncture, acupressure, and massage. So, in fact, it is a situation in which TCM practitioners are allowed to use only needles or finger pressures as TCM treatment and not as and not more. That means the use of TCM herbals are not allowed by the Hungarian TCM legislation, unfortunately. In terms of development, there is still a long way to go for all of us. It can be predicted that in 15-20 years, the native Hungarian TCM talents will be the main force of TCM in Hungary. How to ensure their further educating in TCM to help them in maintaining of the level of knowledge of the predecessors. We should think ahead to know what to be done for the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear Chairman, thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Gerval Miklos Andras. Thank you for introduction of the 3 stages of the development of Chinese acupuncture and massage in Hungary, which are budding, development, and maturity. These 3 stages. Especially the formal legislation in December 2015 was a landmark event. I personally think that compared with the Western Europe countries or the US model, the Hungarian model is more meaningful for the other countries in Central and Eastern Europe, like the Czech Republic, where I live. So thanks again to Dr. Andras. Now let's move to the 7th speaker, Dr. Zhou Zhibing from China, the affiliated hospital of Chengdu University, of traditional Chinese medicine. His speech is titled by Introduction about China, Montenegro, Traditional Chinese Medicine Center. So welcome.
世界中原大会的各位专家和代表们，大家好，我是来自成都中医药大学附属医院的周志斌。今天很荣幸，由我来给大家对我们的中国黑山中医药中心做一个简单的介绍。这是我们的内容提纲。首先，让我们了解一下黑山共和国的概况。黑山位于欧洲巴尔干半岛西南部，面积 1.38 万平方公里，人口 62.2 万，或者据非网络数据，2019年为80万。黑山的周边国家包括塞尔维亚、科索沃、阿尔巴尼亚、波黑、克罗地亚。西南部濒临亚得里亚海。黑山为多山国家，气候类型包括温带大陆性气候和地中海式气候。黑山的经济支柱产业为旅游业和制铝工业。2019年其 GDP 为48亿欧元，人均 GDP 为7717欧元。中国黑山中医药中心又名黑山中国中医院，并挂牌成都中医药大学附属医院和成都中医院、四川省中医院黑山分院及教育培训基地，位于黑山首都波德戈里察市。黑山中国中医院成立于2014年。2015年，在四川省中医药管理局和中国驻黑山大使馆的大力支持下，成都中医药大学附属医院和黑山中国中医院签署共建成都中医药大学附属医院黑山分院友好合作备忘录，并成立了成都中医药大学附属医院四川省中医院分院黑山分院。中国黑山中医药中心于2016年获准成为首批中药国际合作专项项目之一，并于2017年顺利通过验收并挂牌。2021年2月8日，中国中东欧国家合作线上成果展上线。中国黑山中医药中心是其中唯一关于中医药的合作成果。左图为国家中医药管理局副局长马建忠，黑山共和国卫生部部长赫拉波维奇共同为中国黑山中医药中心揭牌。本中心位于黑山首都波德戈里察市东南郊，营业面积800平方米，设有诊断室4间、治疗室3间、贵宾室1间、功能检查室1间、中药房1间、煎药房2间，以及其他办公室若干。医院现有工作人员8人，其中管理和运营2人，中医执业医师1人，康复理疗技师1人，秘书2人，翻译2人。黑山中医院经过7年的运行，在院方和成都中医药大学附属医院的共同努力下，在黑山相关部门和领导的支持下，医院运行良好。在黑山已形成一定的影响力，不仅为当地居民，也为中国驻黑山大使馆、中国路桥公司以及留学生提供高质量的中医药技术服务，取得了良好的社会效益。中心开展了中药饮片、针灸、推拿、拔罐、刮痧等中医药治疗项目。考虑到居民没有服用中药的传统，大多数人不会煎药，医院提供了免费中药代煎服务。除了日常工作以外，我们还根据需要不定期到中国路桥公司、黑山国家孤儿院、修道院等单位进行义诊。左边这个是我在临床门诊工作中，这个是我们的吕清副院长在配药。右边这个是 也是我们医院的同事钱俊辉副主任医师在黑山国家孤儿院做义诊。这是我们的中药房，这是我们的针灸推拿的诊室。我们中心的常见病种主要分为5大科：骨科、内科、妇科、皮肤科和男科。其中骨伤科的主要病种包括颈椎病、肩周炎、腰突症、腰肌劳损、膝骨关节炎、跟腱炎等。其中颈椎病和腰突症是本院的优势病种。内科包括偏头痛、花粉过敏症、慢性咽炎、慢性胃炎、慢性肠炎、糖尿病、面神经炎、中风后遗症、帕金森氏病、抑郁症、睡眠障碍、慢性肾炎和肿瘤等。妇科包括月经不调、功能性子宫出血、更年期综合征、不孕症等。皮肤科包括湿疹、痤疮、头癣、足癣等。男科包括慢性前列腺炎、阳痿等。我们的就业人群，2018年以前就诊的患者主要来自黑山当地，占 92%， 来自塞尔维亚的患者占 5%， 来自路桥公司等中资企业的华人占 2%， 还有少量的患者来自法国、德国、丹麦、美国、俄罗斯、波兰、意大利等国。2019年以后，来自中国路桥公司、中国驻黑山大使馆以及中国留学生的华人患者较往年有所增加，占比达 10% 左右。右边这是我和当地的一位患者合影，这是一个患肢痛的患者。我们中心自2014年开诊以来，共接待首诊患者1730人。现在因为制作幻灯片的时间和现在又隔了有一段时间，现在已经达到1740多人，诊治11552人次，平均每个月首诊患者22.8人，诊疗162人次。2020年新冠疫情发生以后，除了门诊工作以外，门诊人次较前减少。另外，除了门诊工作以外，中心工作人员还主动上门为中国路桥公司的员工进行义诊，还有刚才我们提到的其他单位的一些当地的单位做义诊。2014到2019年间，医院义诊共1650人次。2020年新冠疫情以后，我们就基本就没有做上门服务的义诊了。这是钱医生和李院长在中国路桥公司义诊，这是我和李院长在路桥公司做义诊。然后这是去年2020年2月份的时候，因为受疫情影响，中国女子水球队他们暂时在这里滞留，没办法及时回国，就留在黑山做常规的训练，备战奥运会。那么我是协助他们的队医对他们的队员训练做日常的一些保健和治疗工作。我们中心在进行常规诊疗工作的同时，也申报了四川省中医药管理局科技研究专项课题，基于正数提取研究东南欧黑山地区风湿性关节炎及避症症候特征及规律的研究，这是由钱俊辉副主任医师负责的课题。这是我们中心内部的走廊上的中医药文化宣传，是关于同仁堂的北京同仁堂的一些历史和文化的介绍。这是我们使用的刮痧板 和果罐以及我们的药材。医院在常规工作的同时，注重中医药文化的推广工作。2016年7月，在黑山孔子学院的协办下，医院的黄石乐副主任医师、田俊辉副主任医师参加黑山饮食文化节，并在文化节上积极推广中医药膳文化。2016年11月，田俊辉副主任医师在黑山夏格里察大学进行了题为传统中医学遇见黑山，共建中医药健康旅游的讲座。2016年11月25日，在黑山夏格里察大学教授的带领下，共计20名同学来到中国中医院，实地参观中国中医院和亲身体验中医诊疗方法，感受到了中医药的神奇魅力。这个图片是我们的张亚丽院长和黑山夏格里察大学的师生们合影。在宣传方面，中国中央台的新闻频道对黑山中国中医院进行的报道，使国内的群众了解到我院目前在黑山的工作情况，以及中东欧群众对中医的喜爱。医院还吸引了黑山国家电视台、黑山健康报、黑山健康网、尼克西奇市地方电视台等多家媒体来中心做中医药文化专题报道。这是钱俊辉医师在参加黑山饮食文化节，通过现场的品尝和体验，向黑山民众介绍和推广中医药文化，特别是药膳保健和中医治胃病养生文化等，取得了良好的效果。这是我在黑山国家电视台做推拿按摩的一个演示。右边这个是黄石乐副主任医师在黑山大学做讲座。这是钱俊辉副主任医师在黑山大学孔子学院以及夏格里察大学开展中医讲座。这是中国央视新闻频道报道，对我们中心进行报道。这是钱俊辉副主任医师。2020年初，新冠疫情爆发后，我们中心全体工作人员积极参与黑山当地抗疫工作。我本人积极参与制定抗疫预防处方，并且和工作人员一起向黑山政府机构、中国驻黑山使馆、在黑中资机构包括中国路桥、上海电力、东方电力、中土集团、济南市建等，以及部分华商等累计赠发抗疫中药1500副，中药防疫香囊464支，另有华人和黑山当地居民感染新冠病毒阳性者近30例，经服用中药以后达到转阴效果。这个就是我们成都中医药大学附属医院提供的治疗处方，治疗新冠肺炎的处方。右边这个呢是由成都市中西医结合医院提供的预防性处方。这是我们的工作人员向当地居民赠送新冠肺炎预防汤药、香囊和口罩。这是我们的这个吕清副院长在准备新冠肺炎的防治用药，这都是我们这个用带尖的熬药机熬好的中药。好，最后我也代表中国黑山中医院、中国黑山中医药中心，向远在国内、远在四川成都的成都中医药大学附属医院表示感谢。虽然我们医院派驻在中国黑山中医药中心的医生只有我一人，实际上我们全院呢，对我们这个中心都是全力在加以扶持。其中推拿科、骨科、内分泌科、神经内科、肿瘤科、妇科、泌尿外科、 皮肤科、耳鼻喉科、眼科、血液科、感染科都有专家作为我们中心的顾问。我们随时有疑难病人呢，都可以进行远程会诊，有问必答。借此机会，向我们的专家们和医院的领导表示诚挚的感谢。最后赋诗一首：忆昔当年赴北征，长沙问道蜀中行。满怀菊杏心常在，煞载岐黄路未平。故址堆中求妙法，冰壶绝里悟长生。病家极恶医家事，总是人间不了情。好，我的汇报就到这里，谢谢大家。
Thank you, Dr. Zhou Zhibing, for your introduction, the work development of the China Montenegro TCM Center. This center has done a lot of great job in the past 7 years since its establishment. From the clinical work to scientific research and cultural promotion activities of TCM. It has achieved great influence in the Republic Montenegro. Especially during the pandemic, Dr. Zhou and his team also took full advantages of Chinese medicine to participate in the prevention and fight against COVID-19, the pandemic. So thank you again for your great job. Thank you. Now the next speaker will be Dr. Lucia Fischer, a TCM teacher from the Department of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, State University of Medicine and Pharmacy, Nicola Testamitamu, Republic of Moldova. Her speech is titled Development of Chinese Medicine in Republic of Moldova. So welcome.
Hello, my name is Lucia Fischer. I am from State University of Medicine and Pharmacy from Republic of Moldova. Today my presentation will be about history and development of Chinese medicine in Republic of Moldova. So the first doctor of Chinese medicine in Moldova was Dr. Lin Chengyi. In 1961, the government of Soviet Union invited Dr. Lin Chengyi to practice Chinese medicine in Moldova. In 1968, Dr. Zhisheng Lin, son of Dr. Lin Chengyi, graduated from State University of Medicine and Pharmacy Nicolae Timițanu. Afterward, he successfully practiced the Chinese medicine in Moldova until 1995. In 1991, with the State University of Medicine and Pharmacy Nicolae Timițanu, the Department of Alternative and Complementary Medicine was founded. From 1991 until now, Mr. Academician Victor Lecusta has remained in the position of head of the department. In 1991 was created the Association of Alternative and Complementary Medicine. This association unified the acupuncture, homeopathy, and herbal medicine professionals. During the period 1991-2008, over 200 physicians obtained additional qualification in specific area of alternative and complementary medicine like acupuncture, homeopathy, and herbal medicine. 60% attended a 3 years full-time residence program. Today, 12 doctoral PhD theses on the acupuncture have been defined. In 1994, the acupuncture has been officially recognized as a medical specialty and is regulated by Order 5.1, the Acupuncture Service Organization in Moldova. In State Register of Medical Specialties of Republic of Moldova, we can find a special code for acupuncture, herbal medicine, and homeopathy. During the years, the collaboration between Republic of Moldova and People's Republic of China became stronger. So in 2002, the Economic and Technical Cooperation Agreement between People's Republic of China and the Republic of Moldova has signed. So in 2011, in accordance with the cooperation agreement, it was established to open in Moldova the Chinese Medicine Center. The first project on Chinese Medicine Center started in 2011. According to this project, China offered a 5 million yuan financial grant for opening the Chinese Medicine Center. 3 Tcm doctors were delegated by China, and also 100 types of Chinese herbs were offered. In October 2015, State University of Medicine and Pharmacy Nicolae Timițanu and the Gansu Chinese Medicine University have signed a collaboration agreement of academic exchange. The agreement allowed to fulfill a range of activities such as lecture, trainings, visits, study visits, and English language courses for our Chinese partners. Here you can see Professor Li Indong holding a lecture for State University and Medicine and Pharmacy students. The second project on Chinese Medicine Center started in 2016, and according to this project, China offered another financial grant of 4.7 million yuan. This project was implemented by Gansu Chinese Medicine University. Gansu Chinese Medicine University delegated 4 Chinese medicine doctors and offered 200 types of Chinese herbs. The professionalism of the doctors and their kindness was highly appreciated. During those 2 years, they have also trained the Moldavian doctors and students in the field of acupuncture, tuina, and herbal treatment. The center is often visited by highly ranking state representatives from Moldova and from abroad. Here you can see the extraordinary and plenipotential ambassador of People's Republic of China, Zhang Yinghong, and the consul Song Xuejun during their visit at the Chinese Medicine Center. Our Chinese partners were invited to attend problem-based learning courses and English language courses. Here you can see awarding of the certificates of the participate at the English language courses and problem-based learning medical training. In June 2017, we had another important event. We opened University Medical Rehabilitation Center. And in the same day, we inaugurated the Chinese Medicine Rehabilitation Training Center. This center played a very important role in the promotion of Chinese medicine in Republic of Moldova. Here you can see some photos from the trainings. And also awarding of certificates of participation of the workshop on Chinese medical rehabilitation. In December 2018, two professors from Gansu Chinese Medicine University delivered a course in acupuncture treatment and pulse diagnosis. The participants have highly appreciated the initiative of the Gansu Chinese Medicine University, which contributed to the improvement of practical skills in the field of Chinese medicine. In 2018, a master's degree student and a teacher from State University of Medicine and Pharmacy, Nicolaitis Timițanu, had a great opportunity to attend a one-month training in the field of Chinese medicine, generously offered by Gansu Chinese Medicine. In 2019, more than 20 students from our university had the great opportunity to attend a training in the field of Chinese medicine at the Hunan Chinese Medicine University. Here you can see some photos from those events. Since 2020, at the initiative of the rector of our university, the course on the subject of basic knowledge regarding Chinese herbal medicine and acupuncture was introduced in the fifth grade study program. In June 2021, 28 professors and master degree students of our university had the opportunity to attend a very interesting online training organized by Gansu Chinese Medicine University in field of Chinese medicine health care. The success of joint project is a proof of sincere desire of both partners to have a fruitful collaboration in the development of Chinese medicine in the Republic of Moldova. Due to support and contribution of Chinese government, the Chinese medicine in the Republic of Moldova has developed and progressed. I would like to express a special gratitude to Minister of Commerce of China, China's Embassy in the Republic of Moldova, and Gansu University of Chinese Medicine. Thank you for your attention and good luck and welcome to Moldova.
Thank you, Dr. Lucia Fischer. Thank you for giving us an introduction of the developments of TCM in Moldova. From the first TCM in the history of Moldova, Dr. Lucia has been talking about the current situation of TCM and also look forward to the future. What is very impressive thing is that the exchange of visiting between the two countries is very frequent and also enthusiastic. It should be said that the reason why Moldova's development of TCM is so good is due to the strong support of the Chinese domestic government, especially the Ministry of Commerce and the Embassy in Moldova, as well as the strong support of Gansu University of Chinese Medicine. So we wish the cooperation and exchanges between the two countries will achieve more and more fruitful results. Thanks again. Now we move to the ninth speaker, Dr. Bendova from Czech Republic. Her speech is titled traditional Chinese medicine from the view of users, results of a sociological survey among clients of TCM in 2018 in Czech Republic. Welcome, Dr. Bendova.
Hello, I am Dr. Ludmila Bendova from Prague, Czech Republic, and we cooperated with Center for Sociology and Medicine CESMES with its head, Dr. Eva Křížová, in a sociological study, Chinese medicine in the Czech environment. Since 2011, we formed Czech Chamber of Traditional Chinese Medicine, which is a professional body uniting all well-educated practitioners of Chinese medicine with whom we cooperated in this study. First, a little introduction, history. Acupuncture started in Czechoslovakia since 1920, traditional Chinese medicine since 1990, where the first school of TCM was founded. Since 1998, we cooperate with Guangming Hanshou Zhongyi Daxue. Since 2008, we cooperate with Traditional University of Chinese Medicine from Tianjin. Practitioners of Chinese medicine in 2011 are united in the Czech Chamber of Chinese Medicine, and at that time, in 2011, there were only 4 main clinics of Chinese medicine, in Prague mainly. Since that time, there have been many more who started working. And in the history, there were 2 previous sociological studies done by students. You can see on the slide the first one in 2005 by Madame Karolina Kudinova, which was called Globalization of Traditional Chinese Medicine, the Experience and Point of View of Czech Patients and Their Therapists. This was done in the Philosophical Faculty of Charles University Charles and the Sociology Department. The aim of the study was to manifest the trends in medicine, get sociology data about people interested in TCM, what problems face TCM and why, and the study had 2 parts, patients and respondents and therapists, and both of these groups were given questionnaires anonymously and they anonymously filled them out. The conclusions of this study was that patients that seek TCM are more educated and financially secure, as well as willing to make a consistent effort and necessary changes to get better health and feel more responsible for their health. They seek TCM for mostly chronic long-term illnesses and do get better with TCM in 88.7% of cases. The part of the study concerned with questionnaires had given out questionnaires to 53 acupuncturists, only 20 returned, and 30 herbal therapy or phytotherapy therapists returned 14 questionnaires. So we had 34 questionnaires from the practitioners, and the conclusion was that the therapists of traditional Chinese medicine in Czech Republic are willing to learn new methods to help their patients despite ignorance from the academicians, no media support, and bad legislation. However, they remain optimistic for the future and think that TCM will be officially recognized. Unfortunately, in 2017, we were almost there. There was a law that was even passed in half of the parliament, but unfortunately, in 2018, it was again abolished. So we were almost there, but then it fell back from us. The other study was done by Petra Kopelova, and it was called Chinese Medicine in the Czech Environment, Reflected by Czech Patients. Faculty of Humanistic Studies, Charles University, Prague. The aim of study were 5 hypotheses. Czech patients seek help for their health, philosophy does not interest them. Second, university educated will put less stress on philosophy than women and young people. Third, patients that stress philosophy will have better results. And fourth, patients that consider their health to be good will believe in philosophy. 5. Philosophy of TCM will become more important for patients during their treatment. The nature of complaints you can see on the next slide. In 2005 and 2009, the complaints were actually very similar, but the scope of problems treated by traditional Chinese medicine is very wide, as you can see, and you will see it in our study since 2018, where we have it in percentages. Here it is just numbered out, and you can see that roughly the problems are very similar both in 2005 and 2009. The conclusions of the study in 2009 were that 75% of respondents stated that TCM treatment had significantly helped them irrespective of sex, profession, age, or education. Those that were interested in TCM philosophy stated more improvement than those who were not. However, after treatment, philosophy became more important for 82.7% of patients. And now we are getting to the situation at this time, which is 2021, but the study was done in 2018. Legislation is still very unfavorable towards TCM due to strong resistance from Western medicine. In 2011, formation of a professional body, Czech Chamber of TCM, that unifies all well-educated TCM practitioners and their education. Also, CESMES was established, which is an official institution studying complementary and alternative medicine under the head person of Madame Křížová. Practitioners of TCM at this time, there are many clinics in both Prague and all of Czech Republic. During March to July 2018, 700 questionnaires were handed out to patients and 378 had been returned. Actually, it was done by way of a website that was completely anonymous, and patients could respond to these questionnaires on the website. Evaluation was done by Eva Křížová, who is a respected sociology expert, and who also evaluated the past student social studies, where the critics said that 100 returned questionnaires is too small a number to be valid. So this time in our study in 2018, we had 378 questionnaires, which is valid even under the laws of evidence-based medicine. So this sociology study does reflect reality. At this moment, there are two main long-distance schools of TCM with 4-year basic education and continuous postgraduate education. 18 practitioners of both schools and members of the Czech Chamber of TCM have collaborated in the 2018 sociology study of Czech traditional Chinese medicine. As stated previously, 700 questionnaires were given out and 378 were replied and used in the study. The aim of the study was how do patients evaluate and experience the process of treatment and results of healing by methods of Chinese medicine. Here you can see that most of the patients were feeling fine, despite having lots of complaints for which they thought the treatment of traditional Chinese medicine. By way of regions, the patients were from all places in Czech Republic, 18% only from the city of Prague, 35% from all of Bohemia, excluding Prague, and 45% from Moravia, which is the other region of Czech Republic. As to the gender of the patients, men were 27.8%, women 72.2%. In Czech Republic, we have 104 women per 100 men. As to the education, we were often reprimanded by doctors of Western medicine that we are actually charlatans and only low-educated people seek our treatment, which is not true, as you can see from the next slide, which is concerned with education. More than 3/4 of our patients had either university degree or high school degree. Only less than 1/8 of our patients had lower high school education or basic education. So it is not true. Actually, it's quite the contrary. More like well-educated university degree patients seek the treatment of traditional Chinese medicine. As concerns age, you can see that we have all the people from all ages, as you will see graphically on the next slide. People from 18 years, children were excluded from this study because we were interested in adults. And we also have patients of 70. So you can see above 61 is almost a little less than 1/4 of patients. Most of the patients are 36 to 50 years old. The range of health problems, you can see here in red the most frequent complaints, and in white you have all the other complaints. You can see that the range of ailments that traditional Chinese medicine treats are very wide, and in the next slide you will be able to see them in percentages. The main percentage of complaints, which is 31.1%, was concerned with pain and especially articulation pain. Then roughly around 10% we have gastrointestinal, gynecological and nephrological complaints, respiratory complaints, chronic complaints, and neurological and psychological complaints. We also have around 5% cardiology complaint and 10% other kinds of complaints. So you can see the range of ailments treated by Chinese medicine are very wide. The next slide, we have the length of treatment by Chinese medicine, and most of the patients, we could say about 1/2 of the patients, were treated with Chinese medicine 12 months or less. That is 45.5%. 13 to 24 months were treated 19.6% of patients, 14.8% of patients were treated 25 to 36 months, which is 3 years, and 14.3% of patients were treated with Chinese medicine more than 3 years. The next slide is the length of health problems duration for which the patient sought the treatment of Chinese medicine, and you can see it's from 1 year to 9 years. Roughly same amount of patients were treated for 2 to 3 years, 4 to 5 years, 6 to 9 years, above 9 years, or just for 1 year. The next slide concerns with the question, how did you find your TCM therapist? How did you get recommendations, or who recommended it to you? And you can see 47.8% found out about TCM from friends, colleagues and neighbors, 28.3% from family members, and you can see that only 3% found out about TCM from books, TV or printed media. Frequency of visits to TCM therapists, 80.7% of patients went regularly once a week, 15.9% went irregularly, and 3.4% of patients went to the TCM practitioner sporadically. The next slide talks about all the methods used. Most of the cases, more than one method of treatment was used. Acupuncture, Chinese herbal therapy, which is Chinese decoctions, Chinese herbal tablets, TCM dietetics, massage tuina, Tai Chi, Qigong, Chinese exercises, moxibustion, Etu, and other methods of treatment were used. Most of the people were treated by acupuncture, 95.9%, but a lot of them were also treated by Chinese herbal therapy, and you can see from this diagram that most of the patients were treated both by acupuncture and herbs at the same time. Why did you choose TCM? More than one reason was stated. 95% of patients did it because they wanted to improve their health, get rid of problems, because of personal attitudes in TCM. They wanted to heal without using chemical pills or operation, and because they trusted their therapists. And also 77% stated philosophical and Taoistic view. Do you think of ending TCM and why? 69.4% because my health is better, 32.1% because they know how to keep healthy. And then there were, of course, reasons like time, finances, because the patients had to pay all this treatment by themselves. It's not on social security, it's not on health security, they cannot get paid with it. So are you also treated by Western medicine? Before they were treated by Western medicine, but now no, 31.7%, no, 40.3%, and only 28% of the patients were treated with Western medicine simultaneously with the methods of traditional Chinese medicine. So more than half, actually more than 3/4 of our patients were not treated by Western medicine at the same time. Did TCM help? Sure, yes, 77.2%. Probably no, 1.3%. Don't know yet, 7.7%, and yes, 13.5%. So, did TCM treatment influence patients' main disease? Definitely yes, 55.3%. Probably yes, 18.3%. I don't know yet, 9.8%. Probably no, 7.4%. Definitely no, 6.3%. And no answer, 2.9%. The next slide is about fulfillment of expectations from TCM. 74.6% said sure, yes. No expectations had 2.4%. No, TCM did not fulfill expectations, only 0.8%. Do not know yet, 8.2%, and probably yes, 14% of patients. So again, 3/4 of our patients, TCM did fulfill their expectations. Satisfaction with TCM methods. Scale 1 is best, scale 5 is worst. So patients were very satisfied with acupuncture, pulse diagnostics, interview about health problems and healing treatment, preparation and drinking herbal teas, using prepared herbal pills, TCM dietetics, Qigong exercises, massage, Tuina, and moxibustion. So most of the patients were well satisfied with all of the TCM methods used. Will you continue treatment with TCM? Sure, yes, 82.9%, so more than 3/4 of patients want to continue. Don't know yet, 4.4%, and probably yes, 12.7%. And this is the last slide, so I thank you very much. I hope it all turns out well. Great thanks for your attention, and maybe next time see you live in person. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Dr. Ludmila Bendova. You introduced the situation of Chinese medicine in Czech Republic from different areas through a detailed questionnaire survey. And we are very pleased to see that most patients had very high satisfaction and overall evaluation of the efficacy of Chinese medicine. And also through the questionnaire survey, some wrong views were corrected. For example, it was believed that Czech patients who went to Chinese medicine were mainly those who didn't have a high education. But the survey found that the opposite was true. So thank you, Dr. Bendova and her team of colleagues for your great job. Now we are reaching the final speaker, Dr. Rabit Sadiku, the president of Albania Association of Acupuncture and Traditional Medicine, AcuCenter. His speech title is Treating Frozen Shoulder with Laser Needles Acupuncture. Welcome.
Hello from Dr. Rabit Sadiku. I am coming from Kosovo. I am a medical doctor and acupuncture doctor. For many years, I'm the first acupuncture doctor who brings acupuncture in Kosovo. I bring some new methods like innovative method of acupuncture like laser needle acupuncture, implant acupuncture, and many other things. Today, we can speak about the treating frozen shoulder with laser needle acupuncture. Frozen shoulder or periarthritis humerus scapularis, the clinic picture of the degenerative tendon changes and inflammation of the anatomical structures involved in the shoulder construction. You the chance in the clinical picture, organic and functional consequence, so as a local and distal ones should be treated better as a syndrome. The general clinical picture or picture of periarthritis humerus scapularis is both the same and different from case to case. During this study, we observed two symptoms: amplitude of the movement and pain in the diseased shoulder. Other symptoms, in this case, we didn't have any interest for the study. The group of the patient with periarthritis humerus scapularis or frozen shoulder was being treated in AcuCenter Gilan Clinic, Kosovo, and Tirana Acupuncture Center in Albania. The total number of the patients which were treated in our clinic was 20 patients. The treatment lasted 5 to 10 days session. 6 to 8 acupuncture points were stimulated with the laser needle acupuncture. This is the laser. This is the laser which we were treated the patient, and this laser have 8 stimulative puncture, and we did it for many years here in Kosovo. Abduction and external rotation at the frozen shoulder and the degree of the pain were followed. The amplitude of the movement has been basic to the functional of the shoulder. The pain is the present objective symptom. Successful treatment required only 5 sessions, but the most lasted at the 10 sessions. All patient results in reacting with the laser needle acupuncture, and this has increased the amplitude of the movement on the frozen shoulder. Patient who had increased the amplitude of the movement to 80 to 90% after the application of 5 sessions were not treated further. From this, we have learned that if we manage to increase abduction, at the same time, we have also managed to improve the external rotation of the shoulder. Improvement amplitude before and after treatment has been significantly increased in our statistic. Even pain, as a subjective feeling, has been evaluated as a severe pain of moderate intensity, and mild pain, and no pain, all pain. Now, this is the picture of the device. We do it for many years, and this is produced from Germany. And in this machine, we have bar frequencies, and we have also no gear frequencies. This is one of our patient. We can treat patient with different diagnoses like knee pain, under pains in the body like a shoulder pain. Here we have treated the patient with a frozen shoulder, and we did four acupuncture points, but the points, not only acupuncture, but we did the acupoints and the local points to improve the health of this patient. We can treat also the problem with under etiology. This is the points which we used for the knee problems. Here is the patient who was at the beginning of the treatment and after 5 sessions. We have here the results of the abduction and the external rotation, and patient after 5 sessions is with good results. Okay, here you have the patient after 5 days treatment patient. The abduction is very, very improved, and also the external rotation. Acupuncture points are selected according to the location of the pain along the meridians involved. Symptoms have been classified on the basis of Qi energy deficit and deficiency. It's more important to say the individual treatments were specific for each patient. We need to say that laser needle acupuncture treatment is achieved by the placing a laser beam into the just need to say the combination of infrared, green, blue rays differ in the penetration of the lens. Simulation is mostly biological without any side effects. Laser needle acupuncture has been applied for many years in Acu Center since in 1993, and we are really satisfied, and we have our results are very good. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Rabbit Sadiko. Thanks a lot for showing your study in treating frozen shoulder with laser needles acupuncture. So we are very glad to see the good effectiveness through your study by the laser acupuncture. And we know the laser acupuncture has no needles, no real needles inserting into the body. So we think maybe it's a good choice for the people who are very afraid of the needles. As we know, Dr. Rabbit Sadiko made a great contribution for moving and introducing acupuncture into his country and society. So thanks again for your work. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends and colleagues, we are reaching the end of our forum. So thanks again for all the speakers in the opening ceremony and the 10 speakers in the academic forum. Thanks again for your great speeches. And also we show our thanks to all the audience for your attention to China Center Eastern European Countries Traditional Medicine Forum. We look forward to meeting you next year. Of course, we hope to make it face-to-face on the site. So thank you and goodbye.